Come to order. We're back with another episode of the Saturday Afternoon Movie Club. It's me, Geoff from Instagram. I'm here with the usuals. Randall, what's up?
Howdy.
Oh, we got howdy again. And Bjorn.
Howdy.
Oh, we got a super howdy.
I'm not saying
We got howdy with a drawl.
Yeah, we
right.
don't
Howdy, y'all.
howdy.
right?
Yeah, we got
and
one.
Arlo.
Yeehaw.
Arlo's here. This is the
rednecks.
hopefully that's the end of the howdies.
Here.
We should save them for I hope that we do like a real hillbilly movie sometime and you guys come in hot with like a solid mid-Atlantic snooty kind of
Yes, hello.
right? Exactly. Like that.
Toodaloo.
Like, just anachronistic to the film.
How are we carrying on today?
Which today is Face Off. We're talking Face Off. This is week 3 of our Nic Cage month plus 1. I just did the math and realized we need to do 5 to round out June. So it's a whole month of Nic Cage plus 1 because I am terrible at math. So some of May and all of June.
1 day of May and all of June.
Right? This is Face Off. This is the 3rd in the Beige Volvo trilogy. I'm going to start calling it now the Beige Volvo trilogy because in The Rock, he says he drives a beige Volvo. And Con Air, Dave Chappelle lands on a beige Volvo. And
right.
in Face Off, he steals a beige Volvo.
Steals one.
It's like the Cornetto trilogy, but it's the Beige Volvo, Nic Cage action trilogy.
They baked that in there only for true fans to discover.
Yep.
I
And
have
you're one
no
of them.
idea if it was on purpose or not,
Had to. I mean,
but maybe.
it's in there. You
Product
noticed.
placement.
It feels like something that would be more likely if it was the same director each time.
Yeah.
It just feels like maybe beige Volvos were easy to get. And they're
And Smash.
right, because we're doing Gone in 60 next, and that's a car movie in LA. I'm sure that they'll drive past some beige Volvos. There might be
I don't
a
think they're driving any of them.
they're not stealing them. They're definitely not on the list, but that'd be a wild list of we need these 50 cars and just one of them is just a regular.
Yeah. It's a
Just a
regular ass
Volvo.
Volvo.
It's really safe.
It reminds me of my mom.
We need a fleet of beige Volvos.
I'm gonna sell 49 of these, but one I just holds a close place to my heart.
If I was going to do a big organized crime with a fleet of cars, I would get the same car. It would all be beige Volvos. And then you deploy them, and it's like when everybody turns into Harry Potter and Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's like you don't know which one's in the car. That's
Yeah.
not a bad. I wrote a good movie right there.
Yeah. Right? It's also kind of like the Italian Job where they all drove the same car.
They already did it. God damn it.
Yeah, but that was more
They
of a
were like-
product placement
Yeah.
to
Or
let
Mini
everybody
Coopers.
know
Oh, it's
Mini
just a Mini
Coopers
Cooper.
were out.
Sales thing.
Okay.
But they also,
Yeah.
like, that's what they drove in the first one, in the original.
Mini Coopers?
Yeah, but they were, like, already around. Like, they were being brought back at this time.
Oh, yeah. That would have made sense in Europe, but in the U.S., it kind of stands out. Not like
Yeah.
a beige Volvo. That would be very.
Right, that would blend in.
Yeah. They'd be like, follow the beige Volvo. They're like, all right.
There's one.
Or let's just go home.
Right. It doesn't work because there's
Let's go get cheap groceries.
Yeah. All right. We're not going to win this one.
the only 4 Mini Coopers in the country
Yeah.
are being driven by these criminals.
Assholes.
The only ones in existence are in this
Wait.
movie. Right? That would be then we look it up and it turns out they never ever made a beige Volvo. This was specifically Nic Cage's favorite thing. Somehow.
It's the same Volvo in every.
Yeah.
Right.
He
Right.
built it. There's only
like-
one.
How they did that Subaru Outback or whatever. It's the beige Volvo Nic Cage edition.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't there a Crocodile Dundee Outback? No. Maybe.
Maybe.
I feel like I remember that.
I feel like you dreamed that.
I feel like you just really want it to be true.
I know. I do.
They partner with Outback Steakhouse as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it's
It was a
The
Dundee.
bloomin' onion. That's not a knife.
Dundee
That's a
Steakhouse.
Subaru.
That's very stupid.
That's not a Subaru.
That's not
This is a Subaru.
It was right there. Marketing writes itself.
Commercial writes itself.
Go on.
My part's done.
All right.
What,
Meeting adjourned.
we should do what is this the part where we talk about what we watched that wasn't Face Off since
Yes.
the last time?
I think so.
Has anybody watched anything that wasn't Face Off?
Last week tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah. And I'm back on Sopranos.
Ooh.
All right.
Nice.
And Chris just got shot. And Carmela goes and makes out with the wallpaper guy, and I forgot about the wallpaper guy, and that was so stupid.
I don't know.
Edie Falco, I love you more than life itself, but they wrote you dirty in that show. I'm back on, deep in Sopranos again.
Mm-hmm. It's a good show.
I rewatched Hot Rod.
Ooh,
Andy
that's a
Samberg?
good one.
I was with my nieces and nephews, and they asked me what this is so funny. They like to ask what's your fifth favorite movie,
Okay.
which is a great question
I love that. Yeah.
because then you have to really think about it.
Uh-huh.
But then they asked what's my favorite comedy, and I said Hot Rod, and then they're like, what's that? And then we started watching it, and I was like, I can't remember if this is okay for children to watch.
What is it?
Andy Samberg movie. It's very joke forward and
Yeah.
weird,
It's very exactly that.
like an Andy Samberg version of Napoleon Dynamite or something.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
I mean, it's
Have you
better
seen
than
it?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Napoleon Dynamite.
It's better than that. Thank
I
you.
don't
Napoleon
like
Dynamite.
It is better than that.
It's
just
better-
like that. It's
Yeah.
But
I
it's
don't,
like
I don't like Napoleon Dynamite. I
It's
think
like
I think
awkward.
It's boring.
I agree.
It's.
But that
I
same
guess it would be like
awkwardness.
if Napoleon Dynamite actually had some friends and interests, and then they just pursued those interests in spite of what everybody else at school thought or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
because he just wants to be a stuntman. But it's a perfect
Oh.
80s movie. That's not.
Yeah.
It's from
That's not an
2008,
80s movie,
but it
yeah.
is just that classic. We need exactly $50,000
Yeah.
for something, right? Like Dirty Work was that too, where it's just an
Yeah.
80s premise of what are the odds that this medical procedure costs around 50 grand?
Yeah.
It's exactly 50,000.
We have to enter a contest or
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Do
win a race, or
one crime.
Yeah,
fix
do
that
one
house,
thing.
right? Something,
Excuse
just
me, do you
some
have
dumb
one
thing.
crime?
It's great. Hot Rod is great.
Cool.
Sandberg, Jorma, Danny McBride, Bill Hader,
Oh yeah.
Ian McShane.
Ian McShane,
Just
Chris
that
Parnell.
Singularly
Chris
one of my
Parnell,
favorite
Will
actors of all
Arnett,
time.
Isla
Isla
Fisher.
Fisher.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah, Carrie's in it.
Yeah, Carrie, Sissy Spacek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Very
it's a good.
It's a
good
very
movie.
fun movie.
I'll watch anything with Ian McShane in it.
Yeah.
It's lots of there's
love
like
that.
training montages, a dance
That's
sequence.
fun.
Right. He's also not a very good stuntman, which is so great.
It's so funny.
Right. So
That's fun.
a full 20% of this movie is just America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, just so
It really
many
is.
falls and
Stupid.
crashes.
Yeah,
and-
just so many falls and crashes built around a plot.
Mhm.
But man, you're just waiting for those crashes, and they're they just keep getting worse. It's so funny.
Yeah.
That feels like a Danny McBride had a hand in that.
It was
writing,
also
possibly.
early Danny
This was
McBride.
early
where
Yeah.
Danny McBride. Yeah, he wasn't a name yet.
Yeah, that's good.
he was
It's like the perfect amount,
like right after Fistfoot Way, and
like a Tropic Thunder's amount of Danny McBride,
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah.
where it's not too much.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because sometimes his thing is his movie persona is different than his TV
Yeah.
persona. He's better at locking into what those characters are,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then his movie persona just seems to be that one guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that one guy can become tiresome
For
if
sure.
he's in way too much of the movie.
I
But he's
do
in
think-
just enough Tropic Thunder and just enough Hot Rod to really be great.
it's like Will Arnett, who's also in this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
elevate.
Yeah.
Like just enough.
I forgot he was in that.
I do
too.
think Righteous Gemstones is one of the greatest.
Oh, for sure.
100%,
It's
dude.
too funny.
But there's not a ton of Danny McBride in it doing. It's like all of the characters.
Right, but he's also
Yeah.
not doing the Danny McBride thing. He's
Not the movie
playing, like
thing,
he's
that's
playing
true.
that character.
Yeah.
And so it's not like it doesn't grate on me.
Mhm.
He's playing that weird preacher guy, and there's enough going on around him too that it's not
Yeah.
like he's in every scene.
Yeah.
He is like,
Incredible.
I think Danny McBride is the reality of what we were told Ricky Gervais was.
Shit.
Ricky Gervais wishes he fucking could.
Right, and we were to be fair, we were told that by Ricky Gervais.
Gervais,
Right.
exactly.
So a lot of people believed it.
It's insane to me that we keep letting Ricky Gervais make movies and just content. And like I think 3 different movies he's created are like I'm the only one that has a skill or ability or knows the truth of things.
Which was fun the first time.
It was never fun.
And then it's like
I liked
lying,
Adventure.
ghosts, God, I think.
Yeah, it's Invention of Lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
ghost one.
I didn't see the ghost one.
I think there's a ghost one.
I mean, the invention of lying. By the time the reveal happened, I was just like, "Oh fuck you, man! Like
Yeah.
you don't have another take on anything.
Nope.
This
Just
is your one thing. I can't believe people believe in God. I can't believe people buy tickets to see you.
Exactly.
I'm not making a movie about it.
He's the dude that still talks about atheism.
Yeah,
what I mean?
right.
Come on.
Everybody knows.
I remember
already.
being 19 too, buddy. Like, yeah, and it was the most interesting thing that we could come up with at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it always like guys like that because Bill Maher's like religious doc also kind of veered into this where it's like you start by being like this seems like nonsense,
Mhm.
but you're real like the complaints at the beginning are all about the way that it's shoved down your throat, and then you just turn into that version of that. So like you're just Oral
Evangelizing.
Roberts of being an atheist.
Exactly. You're evangelizing atheism. And
Yeah.
again, that's shit you did at 19
Mm-hmm.
at the party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, you know what?
You're
I'm
you're
edgy.
just the other
But they
side of the
haven't grown
coin
out of
of
it.
the problem.
Exactly.
Like
They
the
haven't grown out
problem
of it.
is we talk about it too much.
And it's
and-
the same take over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
And not enough people bring up this came up recently. Sorry, this is a stretch. Fuck Fred Phelps in the Westboro Baptist Church, a song by the band I Can Lick Any Son of a Bitch in the House. There's a soundtrack to this. you can play this at any place, and I think they really encapsulate it. So it goes, fuck Fred Phelps in the Westboro Baptist Church, and the second verse is fuck Pat Robertson. Fuck him in his ass. I mean, I could go on, but there is good content that's anti-religious outside of Bill Maher and Ricky Gervais's fucking
Right.
stale ass takes.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a cool ass song. Also, rest in peace, Mike D,
Mike D.
lead singer for that band.
Oh, there's two
Michael
Mike
D.
D's.
They're probably
Oh,
4.
There's 4 only.
There's probably 5.
I know a Mike Dimon. I went to well, gotta believe that. I know a Mike D.
You see
I went to
the
high school
whole
with
name?
him. Yeah, I sure did.
Why do you have to bleep it?
what's-
Did you say something bad about him or just
Just said his name.
you just said his name
Yeah.
and I didn't
Quick, what's his birthday?
Understand
Social
it.
Security. What's his address?
I don't need his address now. I just want to know the street he grew up on.
That's all.
Street he grew up on. His first pet's name.
Right? These are just random questions.
Yeah,
I just
get to know
asked
somebody.
Right, I
Was
just
that
asked
his
ChatGPT for
mom's
some
maiden
random
name, or-
interview. Do you know his mother's maiden name? It's
Ooh, no.
Find that out. Facebook's free.
Facebook is free. Facebook, right? You turn this movie into Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. I want to book his face.
What happened in this movie, you guys?
We'll get to it.
Oh
We
my
got to put it in
God.
context first. This movie, Face Off, came out June 27th, 1997, a full 3 weeks after Con Air.
Mm-hmm.
Just back to back
So,
summer blockbusters.
Bangers.
And it did not affect the box office. Like both did well. So it didn't like split the audience or whatever. People still went to see 2 movies in a summer back then. It was wild,
Imagine if we had Movie Pass still. Sorry.
right? This movie, it debuted at number 1. And here we go. So number 1 was Face Off. Number 2 that weekend, Hercules.
Mm.
Number
The
3,
cartoon?
Batman and Robin. Number 4, My Best Friend's Wedding. Number 5, Con Air. So it dropped to 5 after 3 weeks of release.
Still pretty good.
So pretty
Man,
good.
not bad. Con Air 5th, Lost World Jurassic Park 6, Speed 2 Cruise Control 7,
One on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Boat,
Oh, yeah.
Liar Liar, Austin Powers, and Gone Fishing. Those are the top 10. Most of them were on the Con Air top 10.
Yeah.
I forgot the Liar Liar was out at the same time as Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Let put that together.
No, you didn't? Was that part of it?
No.
I don't, like,
Just
did you see
trying
them
to
on the
remember
same day?
1997?
It's easier for me to remember 97 than yesterday, so I had more open RAM in 97 than I do now.
Free space and processing
now
power.
Yeah.
Right, my
Just
my
rewriting.
CPU is full of stuff from 97.
Writing
I know
over
all
that.
the words to Semi-Charmed Life.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. the chocolate.
Both versions, radio edit, the short one with the shorter ending and no bridge. This movie, Roger Ebert gave this movie 3 stars. It has I believe it's 7.4, but my IMDb just 7.3 rating on IMDb. And its Rotten Tomato score is 93 critics, 82 audience. That's very interesting that the audience is less
That
than
is
the critics for a movie like this. It's almost always the other way.
I would have put money on it being the other way. I can't see this being critically acclaimed, but an audience hit.
All right, you got to watch it, and then you'll know why it's critically acclaimed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, it should have been 82 is still pretty good, but 93 for a movie in 97 when there wasn't, it's easier to get a high score now because there's just so many more people
Yeah.
doing reviews. Back then, it's like 45.
There was
You'd
just
get like 45 reviews or
8
whatever.
Weird dudes.
You
Yeah.
reprint those same reviews.
But this one was an early version of where the critics finally realized, oh, this is what they meant to do,
Oh,
so
this
it's
is
good.
masterful.
They successfully executed their vision instead of being like, well, it's no Casablanca or like whatever. They would just up their own ass about action movies and comedies. But to watch this nonsense and for it to have a 93% critics is good on the critics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's well received, popular. It was a big deal. There was a ride at Kings Island, the amusement park I worked at. There was a face-off ride.
I've written it.
What?
Yeah,
Have
it
you
was
really?
dope.
Tell the story about the first time you wrote it.
Is that that's the dangle one, right?
That's the dangle one that
Right.
it pulls you up backwards first, and then
Right,
you
so
go
it's like a
back
slingshot?
through.
Oh,
that's
like
fun as
Deja Vu.
hell.
Right. It's like a slingshot. But when I first started going to Kings Island before I worked there, I had been on a couple of roller coasters that stopped on the hill,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had to get
Like on the crest?
yeah, just
Yeah.
like going up, it just like breaks down or
Oh,
whatever, and then they
gotcha.
gotta
Not by
Okay.
design.
walk you down.
No.
Yeah.
So, and this was like the way that you're in line to see this ride, you can't see the track at all. There's
That's
like a
good
roof
design.
over it, so you don't
That's good
know what's about to happen.
roller coaster tycoon design.
And you go,
You face
you
each
dangle,
other.
so the seats are back to back. So I was facing the people across from me, going up the hill backwards, and when it stopped at the top,
Dude.
I was like, it stopped. It was just long enough a stop for me to be like, oh my god, did it?
Did you try
did
to
it
get off the
break down?
fucking ride?
No, it wasn't that
like
long.
I'm
but
out.
It was just long enough to have the thought of, did this just break down? But also, we're dangling, so there's no climbing off. There's no walkway.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be like, I guess they're gonna bring out a net, and we're just gonna drop down
Dangle into-
40 feet one at a time.
That'd be a sick ride.
But then it
Yeah.
released, and I was not expecting it to release.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that it had just full on broke and it was just falling back down the hill. And the obvious assumption is they're loading up another car because that's what they do at every roller coaster that isn't this one. So I thought for that whole way back down that we were going to crash
crash.
into that other car.
Right.
Did you?
And like this all happens in a couple of seconds, but when we went through and didn't crash, that's what roller coasters should like. That was a real thrill.
That was a real. And
Life
that's,
flash.
and that's why you're a Christian again, right? Because when you got back in touch.
I mean, I was
Jesus
for,
Christ, our Lord and Savior.
I was for a lot of the beginning of that ride.
It's very funny to me to see the people getting off the ride just weeping.
It's a conversion coaster.
We couldn't figure out how to fix the case, but God, we got some people back on Jesus.
Getting those numbers back.
It was when
That's a good
In
ride.
and Out bought the park. It was being run by In and Out, so they were trying to.
Fucking-
Everything was trying to get us back into Lord.
Absolutely.
A lot of what's your favorite verse before you can get on. That kind of stuff.
Bible quiz.
Right? Oh, you want to sit in the front? You know who else like to sit in the front?
What?
The devil. Is that really? So the front, it was just a bitch because the front row of every roller coaster car was empty because they would just get guilted out of it.
Yeah, to make room.
Right? They wouldn't let you ride by yourself unless you told them Jesus was like also.
Jesus is my
right? Then you
co-pilot.
you could they would try to pair up single riders unless you
Yeah.
were like I ride with the Lord.
You have to keep room for the Holy Spirit.
So
in
he
between
says
riders
right
as
here,
well.
my co-pilot.
Yeah, Jesus, my co-pilot.
we're taking Face Off together.
Facing off against the devil.
Against the devil.
It is very funny to me that like movies like that get like rides, get amusement
Right.
park rides, because I don't remember a lot about this movie.
What do you remember about this movie?
Danny Zuko switches faces with Nic Cage.
And that's kind of
I remember one of them has a kid. I think there's a daughter. And then I remember vaguely a scene where like the daughter figures out or she's crying or something. And I think there's a carousel.
Yep.
Like
You're
a merry-go-round.
definitely naming frames from the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Like
about
pause
it.
scenes.
Should we recap it?
No, it's
Or we got
we
more
haven't done
context?
a little more context. Put in who's in it. Right, it's John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, also Joan Allen, Gina Gershon, Nick Cassavetes, CCH Pounder, John Carroll Lynch, Margaret Cho's in this, Harv Presnell. He was the guy that he played the guy that William H. Macy worked for in Fargo. Like he was the dad of the wife that he was trying to get kidnapped.
Yeah.
So he's in it. Dominique Swain's in it. She's Travolta's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Alessandro Nivola is Pollux Troy. Nicolas Cage's character's brother. Those are the people that are in it.
There's also a Chekhov's Danny Matheson
There is a Chekhov's Danny Masterson.
to his life.
Yep.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What
He
does that
plays-
sentence
We'll
mean?
get there.
What does that sentence
He
We'll
mean?
get
plays
there.
himself.
He plays himself.
So he's a
And
really-
but yes.
He tries to sexually assault a lady
Chekhov's Danny Masterson.
and he
That makes
gets
sense
he
now.
gets fucked up.
Good.
by another Scientologist.
And he
Yeah.
learned nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Fuck you, Danny Masterson.
And this was like right before that 70s show started.
Is John Travolta the cop? No. Nic Cage is the cop, right?
It's yes, and it's both.
It's both.
It's they
Well,
switch
right,
faces.
but
so yeah.
original, yeah.
Travolta's
Yes.
the
FBI.
Travolta plays the good guy.
That's what it is. And
Nick Cage is
Cage
the bad
is-
guy. Then
yeah.
they switch faces. So a whole lot of
hijinks.
most of it, 90 minutes plus it's reversed, but whatever. They're playing each other.
Which is a very fun shtick.
Oh my god.
It's very lights out.
Oh my god, so much.
It's also fun to think that they thought they were playing each other as if they didn't both do these things already in their own. Right? Like, there's nothing Travolta does pretending to be Nick Cage in this movie that he didn't do in Broken Arrow, where he was not pretending to be Nick Cage. He was just doing John Travolta acting stuff. I do want to mention that there was a couple of alternate pairings they kicked around. The first one was Stallone and Schwarzenegger, which
That's
is
incredible.
Okay.
Are they still both alive? Can we make
Yeah.
that movie still? Make that
Remake
movie.
it.
Make it. Make
Nah,
it.
there's like a 7-inch height difference between them.
That's so much funnier.
It's,
What? We're gonna act like Twins wasn't an amazing movie.
I mean, Twins is an amazing movie, but I don't know if you.
Or
Do you think they switch faces in Twins?
I'm easy on the details.
They're
And
fraternal
hairlines.
twins.
Yeah.
They're not identical twins.
I'm just saying the height difference could be accommodated for. We can ride our way around it. Let's
Tom Cruise movies.
Right. Then there was it was Michael Douglas and Harrison Ford was the other choice.
Oh, interesting.
just double handsome.
And Michael Douglas produced this movie. So
Okay.
it really almost it could have been that if he wanted to, but
That's
clearly he did
incredible.
not want to, and they made the right choice.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
These two guys being bonkers, similarly, like they're being able to perform insane.
And with like
Works.
an amount of earnestness that makes it more absurd just in their acting. I don't remember this movie, but I am familiar with John Travolta and Nic Cage
Right.
separately.
Well, this movie is also responsible for one of the biggest Nick Cage meme faces, too.
There's so many.
It's the one where he's dressed as a priest and he's looking up, going
Yeah.
at the camera.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's from this movie.
Priest?
No,
He's
he was
dressed as a priest.
disguised as a priest.
A liar.
Right, they call those heretics.
Ricky Gervais invented them.
Yes. Yes. Right. So that's That's it. Let's hit the recap.
So I wrote a thing, but I'm just gonna let it fly.
Recite it.
Yeah. So to the point that you were saying earlier, the movie opens on a carousel. John Travolta's with his son on a carousel. Nic
Okay.
Cage is there trying to assassinate him.
Cool.
Right. So
Which is kind of easy because it's just a
yeah, exactly. It is very easy.
coming back around.
And that's why, so what happens is he shoots him through the back, but his son's in front of him, pops through his chest, hits his son in the head.
Rude.
So he kills his son.
Yeah,
Right.
Very
Travolta
rude.
survives. Even though
Travolta
it
survives.
goes through at least
Oh, dang.
a lung.
Yeah, like it fucks him up.
But straight into the
Straight into the
tiny
kid's head.
kid dome.
Yep.
Dang it.
Yep.
Yeah, so
So-
they kill a little kid, like a
Right off the
6
top.
or 7-year-old.
Oh, I would even
Well-
say like 4.
He was 86, and it's supposed to be because they say his birthday
Yeah, he
year,
dies-
which
he's-
is the same as my year.
He's 5 years old because he dies in 91. It's on his
91.
headstone.
Right, and then
Yeah.
6 years later,
6 years later, we pick it up. Nic Cage is planting a bomb at the time an undisclosed building in LA. It's the LA Convention Center.
Classic Cage stuff.
Exactly.
Those antics.
As they're getting away, somehow the FBI is like wise to him or something, and they decide this is when we're gonna get him.
no, the brother pays for the plane because Nic Cage is running behind. So he's like, I took
Bro,
the
what?
downtime to pay for the plane, and then they get the tip that the brother got seen paying for the plane.
Right,
Whose
but there's
brother?
no
Sorry.
Nick Cage's
Nick
brother.
Cage's brother,
Nick Cage's
Yeah.
brother.
Castor Troy's brother, Pollux Troy.
But there's nothing illegal about chartering a plane.
no, but there is that scene where somebody tells Travolta, Pollux Troy just chartered a plane, and Travolta goes, he doesn't go anywhere without his brother, so that's why they go chase that
They're
plane.
hot on.
Right,
and
Castor
then that's
Troy
why
is
he's
a
mad
wanted
at
criminal.
the
Right.
other guys in the gang to be like, why the fuck? You gotta, he shouldn't do that. You
Right.
gotta protect him from
Okay, like,
himself.
yeah, it's
Use
not
a
illegal.
different car.
It's not
It's
like
not illegal to charter a plane, but also if you don't go anywhere without your known criminal brother, you're kind of a criminal too, right?
right,
Like,
and that's like his brother Pollux is kind of he's painted to be kind of an idiot. Like he can't tie his own shoes. Literally, Nic Cage has to tie his shoes for him.
Is it idiot or is it like a mental?
No, he's
Is it?
but he like designed
There's-
the bomb,
He
right?
designed a
right.
bomb.
He's like he's
Like
a
a giant
genius.
bomb.
And we're like,
It's like that genius thing where you
is this before
you
we knew
can't
about
do
autism?
any
or-
other
Yes.
stuff.
Okay.
Where he's
For
real
sure.
good at this, but also
We used to call it savant, but I don't.
I
Think we use that
don't
word
know. It doesn't. I don't know if he can't tie his shoes or if just Castor does tie his shoes, or John Woo couldn't think of a better way to show
anymore.
the like their
discrepancy.
relationship.
Yeah.
bond.
The-
Yeah.
He takes care of him.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that Nic Cage takes care of his brother.
Gotcha.
Right. So they charter this plane. As they're trying to fly off, the FBI gets there to stop it. They do so successfully. They end up in a hangar that ends up in like an engine testing facility.
Yep.
Sure. And they have a little gunfight, and it ends with John Travolta kicking Nic Cage in front of an active jet engine that blows him like 50 feet back into a steel grate.
That's sick as hell.
It is
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Okay. I wanna
And
see that
everybody
clip.
everybody thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
So we progress
Because he
forward.
gets a cheese grater just pressed through.
Yeah, he should have gone.
Should have gone right
grate.
through it, but he just
Right.
slams into it.
Just landed in a bunch of cubes, like
Right.
weird Play-Doh.
Resident Evil.
Like Resident
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fucking love that.
Exactly. So we find out that there is a bomb, but they don't know where it is. So Travolta's interrogating all of his cronies. And CCH Pounder is like, well, if you're not getting anywhere, we have a little secret to tell you about. And they take him down to a government lab where they find out that Nic Cage is still alive.
They're keeping him alive.
They're keeping him alive. And for the reason of, we have 6 days to find this bomb. And
What a fun, just arbitrary timeline to
Well, they
work
find
from.
a floppy disk.
they find
Yeah.
a floppy disk and load it up and say the bomb's going to blow up in this amount of time.
Mm.
So they bring him down there and they're like, so we kept him alive because we want you to take his face.
What a pitch.
We want you
Listen.
to take his face. We want you to sneak into prison so you can get the information from his brother.
How many ideas did we have before take his face?
Just one.
Just one.
There was the first idea of I'm gonna ask everybody who
Everybody.
might know, and if
And
they
then-
all stonewall me, then we'll do the face thing.
Immediately.
We'll do the face
too.
Right?
No
No,
other-
no sodium pentothal.
Nothing.
No.
No.
Nothing like that.
I mean,
No.
a lot. They already have the secret layer. I'm sure they could just waterboard somebody, but nope. It was
No.
just I'm gonna ask, and if they don't tell me, then I guess we'll do the face switch.
Right.
And it's not like we're gonna make a synthetic mask of his face and put it on your
No.
face.
And they mention
It's
that. They
immediate-
mention
okay,
that when
and
they're
I'm glad.
introducing it. They're like, this isn't a fake. This is the real thing.
Why does it have
They
to be
pitched this
real?
whole thing. It's like, we came up with this technology to where we can perform these crazy surgical procedures and have you healed in like 12 hours.
They 3D print an ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
there's-
incredible.
when they're demonstrating it, they're
But
3D
not the
printing an
face.
ear.
But not the
Not the
face.
face.
But
They've
not-
3D
an
printed
ear.
ear to establish this
The
we have
technology.
the
establish this
technology.
technology, and then none of what they do to him involves that 3D printer.
But bro, we have to go practical effects for this.
with the exception of sealing it with the laser. That's
Right.
the only thing they have in common. There's no stitches, it's a laser that melts the face back together without any
It
lines
cuts
at
it
all.
and it also
Yes, it
seals
cuts it and also
So
seals it.
It's kind of a
I like where the research and development went to within this technology.
Oh, they
And
went
it's only
nuts
ear
within the
printing
technology.
Yep.
and laser stitches, but no other technology.
Oh, and also
was
the
developed.
fun part, when they do the actual surgery, they cut it and then they affix a plastic mask on top of your face and then just suck it up and drop it in a jar of liquid
What on God's green earth?
where it maintains its shape.
where it maintains its shape perfectly.
so it's
Right?
like
If it
putting
folds
on,
or gets wrinkled or whatever, it's gonna not
Like-
fit.
Right. Because flesh,
You don't want
as
it-
we know,
you don't
is
want
not
it to-
malleable.
It gets
Absolutely.
wrinkly because
I
it's
mean,
in
once
the
it-
water for too long.
It starts dry,
Pruny.
but if you leave it out of the water, it'll dry out. And then
Yeah,
it,
you're
it'll
gonna
just
shrink
got face
up, and then
jerky.
It's not gonna fit.
do you know
You've got a
sometimes-
Necronomicon.
You know,
You're gonna look more like
Exactly.
you're gonna get when he gets his face back. It'll just be like it'll be John Travolta's face now.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
But
right.
on his
Not jar
body then.
face. Yeah.
Leatherface.
I have questions, but
Okay.
the only thing that's in my head right now is, you know how sometimes they'll model like the swimsuit, but like it's not on a hanger, it's on like a
It's on a
plastic.
thing, yeah.
Like,
It's on a
lady,
mannequin.
that's what's
Yeah.
happening
Yeah.
in my head. It's
That's
just a swimsuit.
basically
Pretty
what it
accurate,
is.
actually.
What? Okay, amazing. I'm glad I got there.
Yeah.
How are we accounting for like different bone structure and different, you know?
So, fun fact, we don't. So what happens is
Right.
in there, they're like,
Perfect.
there is a line that's in there, and it made me laugh so hard. They're like, so your blood types won't match, but Pollux, his brother, doesn't know that. And I'm like, yeah, but his fucking face will.
Well, no, they say something about 3D printing the stuff.
No,
to
they
make
do.
his face have the same ridges or whatever.
That's true. But on the flip side of that, when they talk about specifically like blood types and stuff like that, that's
How
you
is
can't
blood
put.
type gonna come up?
Well, that's they're trying to
It does
say
later.
like it's donor
Damn it.
it's
They
donor tissue essentially, which your
Oh, yeah,
blood
yeah.
types have to match to make that work.
Oh, I see.
Oh. Well, no, but he's
His
O
body,
and
his body.
We'll
Right.
reject it.
Well, yeah, because one
One
has
can
the
do it.
universal donor and one has the universal recipient.
Right.
So
And
Nic Cage has the universal recipient, so his face would work on Travolta because he's a That's how
They
that
can
might
go-
that might be
Oh, and
how
they also
that might
say-
be.
Yeah.
So that is the one thing they explain is why their bodies don't reject their new faces, because the blood types are the kind that can handle a different blood
but
type.
they don't. That's those two facts are not in the same scene. In the scene with the face, it is
They really
the
pepper
blood
these
types are
in.
different, but Pollux doesn't know that.
Oh,
we
they
don't
also-
know about the blood types until later when he talks to his wife.
But they also don't say
that
that one is a
donor.
universal
Universal
donor.
Right.
You just have to know that.
You just have to know that.
Insane.
You just have to know that.
Who
So-
wrote this?
So the
Fucking
face
movie.
the face swap happens, okay? And then now Nic Cage as the cop goes into the prison to hang out with his brother.
Right, John Travolta has Nic Cage's face
Yeah.
and haircut. There's when they're switching his
They
face,
are
there are
cutting
scenes
his
where
hair.
they cut his hair with scissors.
But not fixing its hairline.
No,
They
to his hairline.
Hair
they
plugs.
fix
Right.
they
Yeah.
cut his hair and fix his hairline to match.
Okay.
Okay. He gets
Which
into prison.
is devastating because John Travolta classically has an incredible hairline.
Great
and
hairline.
Nick Cage, less so.
Right. Well, what's funny, that'll come up in a minute.
Okay.
So he gets into prison, he gets the information. Meanwhile, Nic Cage wakes up out of his coma, sans face. Faceless. Still with lips and eyes and eyelids and everything.
What?
Yeah, he can still blink and talk and everything's fine.
Ew, just
Yeah.
like hamburger face?
It's hamburger face, but like when you only see it from a quick profile and then a reflection, and you can see he has lips. I'm like, that's also not how faces work.
They didn't fix the teeth, though?
No, not at all. They do put a microchip in his throat so they
Sure,
can
we have
mimic,
that technology.
they can mimic
Mhm.
his voice.
right, and then And then John Woo does Mission Impossible 2, and that's when they establish that in the Mission Impossible series is the thing on the throat that changes your
The
voice.
voice
Yeah.
modulator. Again, I'm obsessed with where the research and development went
Right.
in all
Right.
of this technology.
100%.
And it's not like, hey, let's make a cast of the teeth so that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have very distinctive teeth.
No.
They're like, no, but microchip straight
Also,
into the...
height, weight. They talk about, we'll give you an
throat.
abdominoplasty and blah, 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 blah. And there's one scene that comes up later, Chekhov's bullet wound. There's a scene where he has a wound on his chest from where he got shot.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to make sure this goes back when you put me back in my normal body.
When
Because
he
he
was
wants,
like they took it off.
they
in case-
surgically
Oh.
in case his
removed.
brother, in case his brother saw him in prison without a shirt.
Yeah.
His caster don't have that scar,
Yeah.
so they had to take that off when they switched faces. But he was like,
These-
"I want it back. Put it back on me after."
Make sure you put it back.
That's
and then
that might be the
And they
craziest
don't.
part.
Spoiler
that might be
alert.
the craziest
They
they
never
don't.
do.
They never do. But
Oh my
that comes
God.
up. There's if they dedicate time in the script to it. But so Nic Cage forces the doctor and the two cops who knew about the mission into the lab. They give him Travolta's face. They don't talk about the neck chip, but it's there apparently.
Wait, he gets Travolta's face. How does he get the... So, wait. Sorry, back up one step.
Yeah.
I think I blacked out
That's
for a
okay.
moment. There was a piece of fuzz that fell from the ceiling, and I realized I haven't heard a word Randy said.
Back up to where?
Nic Cage, faceless,
Yes.
wakes up.
He has his he calls his henchmen, has them kidnap the doctor and the two cops who knew about the mission,
Okay.
and brings them in. So
How is he able to get to a phone? How is he not like...
he's in a
restrained?
lab.
Just break his legs.
They
or
thought he
keep
was in
him-
a coma.
I don't know.
So-
Okay.
They thought he was in a coma, so they didn't.
But they're like, let's not restrain him.
Right, exactly.
It might give him nightmares.
They bring him in, they put on his face, they fix him up, and then they burn the facility down with the three people who know about the mission inside.
Clean.
So,
Lickety split.
as far
One
as
who
the,
happens to be holding John Travolta's wedding
Son?
ring.
Oh.
yeah,
So
Why?
because he can't have a wedding ring on him because he's now Castor Troy, Nic Cage's character,
Okay.
and he's in prison. So why would he have a ring?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
we could just throw it and... Okay.
So, cut back to Nic Cage. He gets visited by John Travolta, or by. This is so hard to keep the threads together because they've traded. Nic
This is incredible
Cage.
premise for a
Nic Cage
podcast.
as John Travolta gets visited by John Travolta as Nic Cage.
Thank you. Yeah.
And that's when we first see John Travolta doing his Nic Cage impression, which is magnificent.
Pull the footage.
He tells
And also
him,
exactly like he was in Broken Arrow.
Mhm.
So less of an
I like-
impression than Travolta thinks it is. Sure.
Yeah.
I love your confidence that I've seen Broken Arrow.
same.
I've seen
More,
it, but don't know
more
it
people
that
are
well.
hearing me talk than just you.
I don't
We're,
know.
we're recording it.
I don't know. That laptop's not even open.
Patents, Jeff, patents. So then the movie just kind of becomes Travolta is trying to. He
Wait,
does a couple things.
Sorry.
Yes,
I'll get there. I swear to God.
it's okay.
Cage as Travolta goes to the jail also
Yep.
to
Yes.
visit his brother.
The Mario Brothers jail.
Mario Andretti.
Mario Brothers, yes, goes to get the information from his from.
Does he tell his brother?
Yes.
Hold on. You guys are talking about two different things.
Yeah.
So Nicolas Cage,
Yeah.
the actor, goes to the jail. But
That
it's
was
the
so bitchy.
it's the show. No, I'm just trying to
That
figure
was
out how to
so
say it. Like
bitchy.
We can refer to
he's
the characters
playing
last
right.
names.
Yeah.
So Sean Archer is the cop's name.
We're not gonna do names. That's gonna be worse.
Right? No, I know. Like, you can't even say Travolta's name. So right, you just right. So Vinny Barbarino
Thank you.
as Nic Cage
Yeah.
goes to sneak the info from his brother. Like
Yeah. Got that.
and then Nic Cage
As-
the bad guy in the movie with Travolta's face
that's what I just said.
and now haircut.
Did I say it weird?
No, he was answering a different thing. He
Oh,
goes to the
thank you.
prison
Yeah.
as the cop,
Yes.
and tells like his brother knows the
That
switch
it's
happened
really
now.
him. Okay, so his brother
And
does
then he
know.
just,
That's what I was
he's just like,
after.
everybody's dead, you're fucked, you're gonna be here forever. But now that he's the cop,
But yeah.
he's able to like leave him there and get the brother out.
That's
So
what I
he-
was after.
he gets
is
the
if
brother
the
out.
brother knew.
Yeah,
Yes.
the brother knows
Okay,
which
right.
one's
The brother
which.
now knows. So now Travolta as Cage basically spends his time taking down his rivals within the crime world. so he can escalate himself once he switches back, and becomes like a hero cop, so he's basically untouchable by the entire law enforcement body.
This is the part where I think we're getting confused because I would call it Cage as Travolta.
Exactly.
Sorry, Cage
It's
was
the-
Travolta.
Yeah, you
John
said it
Travolta's
backwards.
My bad.
body
My bad.
Yes, thank you. He'd said
Is-
it wrong.
I said
is
it wrong.
being a cop.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got
There, that was what happened earlier.
Would bad guy Travolta and good guy Cage work?
no. Just say
But
original-
John Travolta's body is fully committed to playing out this I'm an FBI agent.
Yes.
yeah, gotcha.
Because everybody thinks he's the FBI agent. Nobody knows that he's really Nic Cage
How-
inside that body.
And what's the timeline?
1 week.
In 1 week, he
1
just
week.
takes down.
Well, in that whole thing, yes, in 1 week, he pulls his brother out of jail. He takes down all of these different crime bosses.
Cage as Travolta takes down all the
Yes.
all his rivals. Becomes
turns off the bomb.
Turns
He's-
off the bomb
his
so
own
he
bomb.
can
hero,
escalate
hero,
himself.
hero.
Cop.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the
Hero
first
cop.
thing he does is turn off the bomb.
There's 24 hours in a day, but Nic Cage is John Travolta.
Meanwhile, Travolta as Cage breaks out of prison
yeah,
and has to try and get his identity back.
yeah.
Right. So that is most of the movie is the two of them working towards each other in order for this to happen. And it comes
A
to
face-off, if you will.
a face-off.
Oh my God! Do they say it?
A bunch.
Several times.
So much.
Several
That's
times.
fun. Oh, they just and they hang on it. and like,
Travolta
face off. It's like,
Travolta as Cage
"We
goes
got
to Cage's
Yeah.
girlfriend's brother's house, where it's like a bad guy lair, and he's like, "What do you want to do when you kill him?" He goes, "I want to take his face off." And the guy's response is, "You want to take his face off?" Yes, I
Right, he
wanna
does
take
a bunch
his
of drugs
face
because
off.
they all do drugs.
They all do
Perfect.
drugs.
But he's a cop, so he doesn't really know how anymore.
right.
He forgot.
So now he's just got Nicolas Cage's dumb face, but Vinnie Barbarino is
Was
high as fuck
Right.
on the
right.
inside of
on
that
the inside.
body.
He's in charge of the whole boat.
And
yeah,
mind you,
he's
the whole
driving
time, the whole time he's
the ship.
interacting
Ship.
with other criminals, he's still the cop inside. So he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, fucking you!
You.
Sean Archer put you away for
Yeah.
years." It's like, okay, that's
he's
not
like,
a giant tell.
What?
oh, you're
Dumb
you're that
donkey.
drug dealer brother. It's like,
You know
still
how-
dealing drugs?
Hello, fellow criminals.
Yeah, that's exactly
exactly.
what it is. It's exactly what it is.
Not.
Right, they did not think this through when they sent him in. They did not consider the fact that he's also fucked over a lot of criminals. So, like the
Yeah.
Castor Troy bad guy, there's a lot of people in that prison that want to kill him.
Yeah,
So he can't tell. That's what's because my curiosity is, he can't tell people that he's Travolta cop operating
Right.
the Nic Cage suit.
Because A, he's crazy, and B, he put a lot of those people away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And nobody's going to believe him.
And that's
nobody's
the other
gonna believe
thing.
it.
He does yell at once at the guard, and the guard doesn't.
He does-
Carter's
well,
like,
he's-
fuck you. Yeah,
He's in solitary as the brother is being taken out. He's like,
Gotcha.
"I'm Sean Archer. There's a bomb." And then he gets ignored.
Right?
Basically,
And
yes, exactly.
the guard is presented as not like somewhat corrupt before the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess as a way for the audience to be like, of course he won't believe him. But meanwhile, he could be
Who
a
wouldn't
goddamn
believe-
saint and just be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are you talking
You're
about?
Castor Troy. I'm looking at you.
Right.
What do you mean you're Sean Archer? I can see that you're Nicolas Cage.
exactly.
You were in Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah. It's also, I guess, the prison that they're in is one that like no one really knows about, and it is hidden within an offshore oil rig. So
It has
when-
magnet floors.
it has
too.
magnet
And
floors.
they all wear boots.
They all wear
Metal
magnetic
boots, so they can lock them
What?
down.
Like
It's a
the
little
boots from
futuristic, but
Yeah.
not
Mario
set in the
Brothers.
future.
Again, fascinating where the R&D went.
Yeah.
for what technology
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
specifically. The magnet boots, huh?
Magnet boots. And
Okay.
so
Well,
if
I
like
don't
there's a
think-
riot, they
you
can lock
keep
them
saying
up.
R&D as if they actually
R&D.
researched and developed
As
any
if they
of this.
actually are and
What they did was it's a TNI. They thought it and
And it-
imagined it,
And it exists.
and then
TII.
that was in this movie. That's it.
Yep.
There's no. They don't.
That's
they
the
don't
world I want to
spend-
live in.
They spend. I would argue that even the minimal amount they spend is still too much on why any of this will work.
Yes,
because
correct.
I'm not going to believe
fucking
it.
wouldn't.
Like, just tell him you switch faces. As soon as you start explaining how you do it, I'm going to check out till you're done because
There's no
everything you're saying now is nonsense.
the
It's bullshit.
ravings of a lunatic.
I bought a ticket for a movie called Face Off. I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't need.
We
you
know
to-
the premise.
I'm not coming in skeptical. Like I wonder how this could work.
It's like, that laser just cut something.
Yeah.
It can't seal it.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I'm outta here.
Money back, please.
It can't. Right? I can't imagine how Neil deGrasse Tyson would talk about this movie. The insufferable.
Like, that plane is taking off for a really long time.
It
and
really
that is a
is.
long ass runway.
Yeah.
Right. His first problem is takes place in L.A. There's no basements in Los Angeles.
Yeah, where are you
You
going
can't dig that far
underground?
down. What do you mean they're underground? You can't go. First of all, yeah. Oh, thanks, fun sucker.
I don't understand a lot of things, but I don't
Okay, go
understand
ahead.
one key point.
Please.
They sent Travolta as driving the Cage body
Yeah.
in to get information. How does he end up like for real locked up?
Because before he can get word out that he got the info, Nic Cage and Travolta's body murders everybody that knows he's
Gotcha.
who they
Yeah.
are.
Okay.
The
That's how he
people
gets
who
stuck in
got
there. Okay,
murdered
got it.
put him in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
So
Makes perfect sense.
the like
The symmetry.
two things to know to kind of move the end of the plot forward
Yeah.
are that Travolta's cop wife is very suspicious because Travolta is now this like suave, weird,
Fun.
He's
Honestly,
fun.
right?
And they hook
there's
up.
more life to his character than
Do they have sex?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gross.
And
You
I
don't see it,
feel
but
like-
they have it.
I feel like that's the other part where this movie falls apart for me. I feel like my husband would know.
No, I had that
If
thought
it
immediately.
wasn't
I'm like,
me.
okay,
Did
you
they
set up.
switch dicks?
That's exactly no. They changed the. They
Yeah,
give him an
that's the sequel,
abdominoplasty.
dick off.
Dick-
I
Wiener
want to
swap.
take his dick off.
It's still from the nose though.
Yeah, but from the nose.
You just got to keep pulling.
Really
Everything's
do it.
connected if you just keep pulling.
This. I mean,
So yeah, like the wife gets suspicious. Travolta as Cage comes back, says, "Hey, my blood type is this. His blood type is this. So you can trust me once you test that." She gives him a little prick in his sleep. Goes to the lab in the middle of the night, tests blood, and it's like, "Ah, shit! This dude who looks like he murdered my son is actually my husband."
oh my god.
Um,
Of all the things, just be like, look at my dick. Like it's different.
it's
Yeah,
a different dick.
exactly.
But yeah, and then right before the end, the way that they set up the end is FBI director is like, "Hey, you're taking down all these criminals, but you're not doing like any form of due process.
You're
This
not-
is basically Gestapo type tactics. This has to stop." And he's like
Oh,
also
good
rubbing
cop.
his chest because he's stressed and it's affecting his heart. So Cage as Travolta fucking hits him super hard in the chest to give him a heart attack and kills him.
Amazing.
So at his funeral service is when the big confrontation with all the doves happens.
That's when the doves
Right.
That's when the
show
doves
up.
show up.
There's always doves in John Woo movies.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. I
Uh,
saw the look
I
on your
know,
face.
I know,
and
and I was putting it back
I
together.
was watching to be like, why the fuck did these guys say doves?
I remember talking about it before, but I forgot the connecting link.
so a big shootout in the church that they're doing the service in happens. The reveal happens to at least the daughter, who shows up.
She
a little
figures it
later.
out.
She figures it out.
Yeah.
One step too late. Doesn't figure it out in time for the first time when she should have. Does figure it out in time for the second time.
And
That's
then they chase each other down to the nearby docks and have about a 15-minute chase,
Yeah.
speedboat chase.
That's a little familiar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That ends with John Travolta as Nic Cage slicing his face with a piece of metal shard from an explosion and then getting harpooned in the chest.
Right, he's cutting his face so that
To ruin it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, not
ruin
like
it.
off. Okay.
No, to
No,
ruin it.
He's trying to ruin it so that even if he
It is
does
fun to do
die,
that.
they can't switch.
Yeah. He's
Nick-
like, I'll fuck you up. And he's like,
the
I
good
will
guy
fuck
would-
up your body, son.
Right.
Like,
Right, when Travolta gets his own face back, it'll be all carved up, and he won't be able to look in the mirror without being like.
no.
He's like,
Even though
lasers exist. Come on,
Right?
lasers can fix all this.
the magic
that doesn't
lasers,
matter.
there's
Yeah.
5 people that know about these magic lasers, and we're 2 of them.
You could cut my ear off. They just print me a new one.
Right.
I have 2 already. That was mine they made first.
Backup ears.
That's another thing. They just change the face. They don't change the ears.
No.
Do they have the
They're
same
printing
ears?
all these ears.
I know. They could have just printed new ones.
Whole face.
And the
you
fun
could print
and
face.
the Chekhov's bullet wound comes back. He's about to go into surgery, and he's
At the end to get his
get his
real
face swapped
back.
back. Right.
Oh, okay. So he
Looks-
gets harpooned in the chest,
Yes. Gets harpooned in the chest.
but they're like, keep
Cage-
his
bad guy
carcass.
dies.
Bad guy's
Stop.
dead, and they take his body along with the other one. Put the faces back.
Travolta gets his face back.
Travolta gets his face back, and right as he's about to get anesthetized. Anesthetized. Thank you. I couldn't remember the fucking word. Shut up.
No,
Don't
you
look at me like
remembered
that.
it.
I didn't know it was
You-
a word.
you said the
so
word.
That's fine.
He said it's
He gets
stupid.
The word I
Yes,
said and the word you
correct.
said were both spelled the same.
But I feel like they both made it up.
When he's
wrong
about to get
emphasis.
anesthetized, he looks at the surgeon. He goes, "This, I won't be needing this anymore." And he's like, the only person that he talked about the bullet wound to was the doctor that burned to death.
Yeah.
So the doctor's like, "Okay."
Your collarbone? Okay, sick. I guess we'll leave it out.
Oh,
What
is
are you
that?
talking
Oh, is that why that was still here?
Yeah.
You thought people were going to put that back on you?
Just a sticker of scar tissue.
But also, it would be 2 because was he going to put it on the front? Because it went in the back. So the front hole should be
It's the
huge.
exit
Yeah.
wound. Yeah.
He just wants
Like
the one
it
he
should
can
be.
see.
The front hole should be the size of a fucking dinner plate.
Yeah.
But instead, the holes are exactly
But
the same
the
size.
problem is that if they made that accurate, then the kid's head would have just been gone at the beginning, and
Yeah.
you can't show that.
Sure.
What did they show? Just a.
Just blood coming out the side of his face.
It's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
So wait, he doesn't need his scar anymore.
Because he's okay. He's finally
okay. He's-
recovered from the death of his son because he avenged it.
He avenged it.
And then
at
also
the
he
very-
kept a kid.
And then at the very end, which I didn't talk about, when he goes to like the lair, we find out that bad guy had a kid, and he looks suspiciously
Not the daughter.
Not the daughter. The
Gina Gershon had a baby that was, and Nicolas Cage's character, Nicolas Cage's face on Nicolas Cage's body, actual that guy before the
actual
movie
that guy.
Yeah.
is the father of that
Oh,
kid.
So the kid, when they go to the lair, there's a big shootout, and they evacuate the kid successfully. And then once Cage's actual character is dead, the kid is an orphan because his mom gets shot in this whole exchange too.
Oh, Jesus
So,
But not before kissing her brother.
but not before kissing her brother in
Yeah.
a
Like-
very heavy way.
Heavy.
There's so many twists in this movie. It comes to a point where it's like, this is exhausting.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, to have it recanted back to you
I know.
is very
This
exhausting.
is a-
I mean, honestly, the first scene with the airplane, that feels like an end of the movie scene.
Yeah,
yeah.
In any other
it
movie.
sure does. Like the way that Nick Cage's character goes into his
every
coma
big set
is a
piece, you're right.
final boss thing.
It feels like
It's a final boss
all final.
set piece.
Even that middle, like
Oops,
every
all
big
bosses.
set is a climax.
Yes.
Like the big shootout in the lair, that's
Yeah.
a climactic.
Yep.
That could have been the end of any other movie.
Yep.
But instead, this one happened with a boat chase.
There's
Like they
three
ramped
endings
it up
to
and
this
they
movie,
kind of brought it down. a
and
little
one
bit.
of them is 15 minutes into the movie.
It almost feels like you could flip them
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
do
it
them
would've
in
been
any
easily
order.
could have flipped him.
because the opening seemed like it escalated a lot more
So
than
fast.
the boat. The boat was like, yeah, we did a flip with it and some stuff exploded, but
Yeah.
I looked it up twice to make sure that because I didn't. I looked it up once and then like an hour later I was like I couldn't remember for sure.
Like, did I read what I
But-
thought I read?
So I looked up 2 different times watching this movie to make sure it wasn't the same kid actor
Oh, I did too.
because they look exactly the fucking
same
same.
haircut.
And I know for sure that
Same
there's
bowl
2
cut.
different actors on IMDb. I still don't really
know
believe
if
it.
it's-
Kind of
Is it
looks like the
Alias?
first kid get a little bit of the haircut, a little bit off the back, get it up off the collar, and now he's the kid.
From the beginning.
Same everything.
They could
yeah,
just
yeah.
face off the kids.
They could just face off the kids.
Just
They
dig
would
them
be
up.
easier to face off because you wouldn't even have to do it.
Trim their hair. It's the
You just-
same.
Yeah, yeah.
Trim
Trim
their
their
hair
hair,
the
then they
same-
have the exact
train
same
them a little
haircut.
different.
Which, by the way, when they do end up switching faces in the beginning, Nick Cage just gets Travolta's hairline.
right?
Yeah.
We watch him cut Travolta's hair to be Nic Cage's hair, but
Which
then he
is-
just has. So I'm assuming that
They
it's a
lasered his
cut.
hair
They
in.
cut it out, but they
Cut a
probably
scene.
kept Travolta's hair.
No, they have
then
Super
glued it back
Rogaine and
on
it
the
works
same
in
way.
4 seconds. You can just apply it anywhere.
Mhm.
Travolta hair.
Right.
There's a game that I feel like we missed an opportunity to play where you tell me about Face Off, but there's like 2 or 3 false things, and my job should be
Oh,
to
you want
have
2 truths and a lie?
Yeah, 2 truths and a
We
lie.
can do it for Gone in 60
We
seconds.
could try that for Gone in 60 Seconds.
See if I
Yeah.
can find the bullshit, because this movie, it's impossible to play that game. They'll be
Oh, it's completely.
and then she makes out with her brother.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
I watched this movie this morning, and I don't know.
What the fuck?
Some of this could be a lie.
We're
And
already
I've
playing
I've
it.
seen this movie 20 times, and I don't know that I could recap it at all.
There's a big chunk in the prison and a prison escape that he barely touched on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my.
I
There's a
said
whole
like 3 sentences
escape
on it.
thing
Yeah.
that happens.
It's a whole big, which could also be
The Rock.
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It takes that turn that like Tango and Cash takes, where you think it's a movie, but then there's a huge part that's also a prison escape.
Yeah.
But that,
Yeah.
But that isn't the movie.
Mhm.
That's just
We're
in this.
we just-
Like
we
it's
have
a
to get
big
through
set
the
piece.
movie.
It's a big part of the movie, but it's also a very small part of the movie.
What was the budget for this?
Oh,
That was the
like all the money.
schematics that
All
we
the
didn't
money.
get to.
The inside of the prison is like that Apple commercial where the person runs and hits the hammer on the. It's like got this common area with a massive television.
That's made up of like 30 TVs.
yeah, and when they blow it up, it apparently was just made of Roman candles.
Yeah, it's made. That's the other thing. Every single thing in this
I love
movie
that
is
about
made of
TV.
fireworks.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You gotta be
Everything in this
careful.
movie.
That works on me.
Every boat in the final chase made of fireworks.
Pure
just
dynamite.
stocked with them.
Yep. So many.
In the 80s.
The apartment, the lair, all fireworks.
That's incredible.
Yep.
That's incredible. How does
And
this,
glass floors.
2 things. I remember people being like, "Whoa, it's so trippy and it's like so twisty. It's like hard to keep track of who's who." But like only being retold it verbally is a little bit difficult to keep track, but it's fine.
Mhm.
I remember people talking about it like it's like, "Oh, you can't. It's so hard to figure out." There's not a
It's
third
not
twist.
hard to figure
It's
out.
No,
one
no.
It's not hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Once the faces are swapped, you're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
There's
until
not even.
until like the last literally 3 minutes of the movie
When they switch back.
when they switch back.
Well, one.
One of them switches back.
There isn't even like that classic thing where they like switch back, but then they're not switched back.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
spinning
no, it
top.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a twist. Like the premise itself is twisty, but the execution is like it's like they went out of their way to make it less. To like it is significantly easier to follow in the movie.
Yeah.
Than us trying to explain it
Yeah.
and not using the character names, but using.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So that's
How does it end?
It ends with a speedboat chase.
No. At the
He
very, very,
keeps
very
the-
end.
he keeps the kid.
He gets the
He
kid.
keeps the kid.
So he wins.
It's not his kid.
It's not his
No.
kid,
Yeah.
but the kid has no parents, and he's an FBI. He's like head of the FBI now.
There's some movies where it's like I feel like
And he also
this is a-
lost a kid. So
He just
but
gets-
because of his job, so his job kind of owes him a kid,
It
Yeah.
does.
and he gets the same one. He just gets a
Yeah.
newer model of the same 5-year-old.
Probably better kid. Cool. Definitely cooler.
I mean, this kid is gonna be less well behaved. He didn't have the best. It wasn't a stable home life until now.
Right.
Now he's got a cop.
His
for a
uncle
dad.
and his mom were way too close.
Real Luke and Leia situation, but without all the cool stuff.
Yeah, without all
Not
the
a-
cool
With all the
stuff.
cool stuff.
It's like if it's
He's
like
all
a,
the shit in the movie.
it's a Luke and Leia situation if they did that kiss at the end of Return of the Jedi.
yeah.
Like it's not like they don't know their brother and sister. They know.
They know.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
they still
goodbye
do it.
kiss.
Why
a
is
goodbye
that
kiss.
part of it?
Open mouth.
I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know.
Character choice.
It was like in the doing a little bit of research, it was their idea.
Huh.
They pitched it. They were like, wouldn't this be weird? And John Woo was like, fuck yeah, it would.
That makes
Do it.
I
Leave
feel
it
like
in.
a lot of this movie was the actors being like, "What if I?" And they're like, "Hit it." Absolutely, we love that.
Don't even
Yeah.
finish
The
it.
script
Don't
is
finish.
8 pages. We don't.
We gotta
I
fill this
cannot
thing out.
stress enough how much we do not.
They did it. They did it like Mission Impossible, but there's only 4 stunts.
Yes.
Yeah. They just take somehow longer than the ones at Mission Impossible.
Some movies you watch and you're like, "This is kind of like a stoner premise." Like I could see how like a
Oh,
stoner would come
yeah.
up. This is a movie that like meth and angel dust came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got to solve a crime. Take their face off. What do you mean? Why wouldn't you just
It does seem like a movie premise that you would have while you're like digging a hole in your front yard for no reason.
We
Yeah,
tried
yeah.
lying. Could we just lie and be like, I'm a criminal? Like, no.
I did love in the service at the end when they're doing the big, basically Mexican standoff, the last guy who comes in to point the gun.
Why is it a Mexican standoff?
That's just what they're
Is there
called.
Mexicans?
No, that's
No, that's just
At
what
this
they're called
point,
when
you
everybody.
can't just introduce new characters.
It's not even. So at the end, they bring it when everybody is familiar with who everybody is.
Mhm. I mean, who's left?
Just
It
henchmen.
doesn't matter.
They're
Okay,
just henchmen.
okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Some bad guys and some good guys.
bad guys and good guys. Bad guys bring in Travolta's actual wife to kind of like as a pseudo hostage thing, and then they do the whole thing where everybody's pointing guns at each other, and then the last guy walks in and points a gun at one person. I'm like, you could pull that trigger and there's no ramifications
Yeah,
for you.
your life's not on the line.
Yeah.
I just like to be included.
I just like
love-
to be seen. It's like the cuck.
Which, did you guys clock, by the way, that Nic Cage has two henchmen that he calls in the very beginning to set up the surgery, and then we see those guys like one or two other times.
Yeah.
And if they had clued in literally anybody else within this crime family, so much of this movie wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
The giant shootout would not in the lair would not have happened. He wouldn't have
He wouldn't
lost.
have got through the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have just died.
Because that was the only place he could go. Because he was Castor Troy at this point is the most wanted criminal. Also, they think he's dead. So if he shows his face anywhere,
It's over.
It's
Yeah.
massive news. So
That's
the only
loyal.
people he could trust are the criminals in his gang, and somehow two of the criminals in his gang know that that's not him.
Yeah.
But haven't
Freak,
told
it's his
any of the
brother,
others.
too.
Right, his brother. But his brother is with. Maybe they just stay with Travolta and never go back to the gang.
And that's the impression I get. But like, they don't clue in anybody outside of those folks just in case.
Well, he did lead the raid on him, so there might have been some like. There's probably something that I never thought of before of Travolta, because now he's the head of the FBI. He just takes his brother and the two guys he trusts the most, and is like, now we'll kill off the rest of that gang.
Sure.
And then do other stuff. So like maybe he told him not to tell him.
I mean, he very well could have, but he also lost his entire support system by not saying anything.
But he was going to anyway, because that's why he was raiding the place.
So he's raiding the place because he knew that
So I watched
that
the
Archer
movie,
was there.
and I'm
But
now
maybe
confused.
he knew Archer. Maybe that's why he
I've
didn't
been
tell him,
zoned out
because he
for the
needed to
last
give a place for
2
Archer to go.
minutes.
Is if they're after him too, then he got nowhere to go, and it makes him harder to find.
I think I'm gonna have salad when I get home.
This is the. I mean, you guys could be involved in this.
Yeah.
You chose not to.
Brother,
We
I
both start to
tried.
zone
I
out.
lost. I don't. There's big pieces of this movie that I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay for two people to
I know.
clean something up without everybody else talking about dinner. I don't know if you've ever heard or seen a show before, but it happens from time to time.
Ricky Gervais didn't
Right,
invent
we're
it.
talking
I
about
don't
a
know
movie
about
where a lot of times in this movie, there's a bunch of people in the scene and only a couple of them are talking. The rest don't just go, I had chicken yesterday. How come they're not pointing the camera at us?
Who are you getting home? Do you have a ride? You want to split a cab?
What are you doing after this?
I think it's fun that
I
they
hear
go to
there's a
this.
Nick Cage movie about a plane out.
They go to this. They go to this funeral. Everybody's going to the funeral from the FBI director who died of, as far as they know,
A punch in the chest.
natural causes.
Oh yeah, but he
Yeah.
he got
Everybody
punched
but
to death.
everybody but the bad guy knows. Thinks it's natural causes.
Yeah.
He's the only one that knows he caused it.
Mhm.
They all go to this funeral because an agent has died. Meanwhile, 15 to 20 other FBI agents have been murdered by guns
Yeah.
leading up to this.
Yeah.
And there's not a mention of a
There's not
service
a
for
murmur.
any of them.
No service.
But
There's-
this guy has a heart attack because he's 70. And they're like, we got to shut everything down for the day.
Because he's the boss.
The mayor of LA.
Yeah.
Everyone is there.
Yeah.
That's
But like, yeah, it's
henchmen don't get funerals. That's the universe. Everyone knows
right.
that.
They're poor bastards.
Henchmen don't. But, I mean, there should have been 18 coffins in that church. There should have been one massive.
And it's really. I know
And it's on the beach. That shit would have happened at like
On the
The
beach.
forum.
It is on the beach in a small Mexican cathedral that holds
Yeah, wait.
maybe 30 people
And 20 doves.
and
for
20
no reason.
doves.
Yeah, that part's a
and
little
no
bit
one else
familiar.
is
I
there
remember
except for the
doves.
bad guys and the good guys
Yeah.
who are fighting.
So
Like,
nobody
nobody else is
from-
going to this funeral.
Nobody from the Bureau shows up.
It's crazy you found a plot hole in this movie. Of all movies.
I just think it's just funny that they ignore like
Eight-
this one death
Yeah.
is worth mentioning and like focusing on.
Yeah. But the rest of these
But the
fucking
rest of 'em-
plebes.
They mentioned there's
Zero.
after the opening shootout with the plane, when Travolta's still Travolta, he gets like the trophy. He walks in and everyone applauds because he caught the bad guy thing, and they give him a bottle of champagne, and he goes, "What about so?" He just lists off all the people who died in that raid and brings everybody down, and then just goes to his office.
Good.
That's the only time that happens.
It gets mention of
That's
other
it.
people
That's it.
were caught in the crossfire.
Yeah,
But
and
that was
shit.
just like a third of the FBI agents that die in this movie, not
Oh, yeah.
counting the leader of
I'm
the
during
glad that he
during
won't
the
do that.
lair raid, a good like 30 more of them died.
Yeah.
No mention whatsoever.
None.
Right.
None.
This might explain why nobody else is at the funeral.
Yeah. There was nobody left.
They're all dead. Oh,
I
man.
was wrong. It wasn't just the good guys and bad guys. Well, who was at the funeral was literally all the FBI that was left.
Yeah, the rest of the department.
Eight-
Except
They didn't have
Margaret
time
Cho.
to hire new people.
Except Margaret Cho.
Yeah, she didn't show up.
They're all new hires. Yeah, they're all in training.
They're all in training.
She's
Still doing weapons
training them.
training.
She had to step back to train.
Man, the lifespan on these FBI agents are burning through them.
Yeah, she's just doing interviews.
It is wild. It is more wild, though, for John Travolta to go into the precinct or whatever, for everyone to be applauding. It's crazy that he had to remind them, hey, you see all these fucking empty desks? Those are people
Yeah.
we knew.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
were like, what a hero.
Yeah.
That's
Right. I mean, there's two, like, I've been trying to figure out how to shoehorn these two parts in, but
good. Hit it.
it's part of what I love about this movie is when the FBI director is giving him your Gestapo tactics rant.
Yeah.
One of the lines he says is, as he's throwing a magazine on the desk, he goes, "I don't care if you are Times Man of the Year." So somehow this
That's
FBI agent,
crazy.
it reminds me of in
Oh
the
my-
movie Death Wish, when Charles Bronson is just killing street thugs.
Yeah.
The cop that's chasing the vigilante ends up on the cover of People magazine. Like, why would this is just a New York City detective
Yeah.
Yeah.
hunting
Making
somebody who has
national
killed at this
publication.
point 3 people who are all criminals in the midst of committing a crime against that like they were all doing crimes and he kills 3 of them, and the investigating
cover
police
of
officer
People?
is on the cover of People. So Travolta, FBI guy, the FBI character, finally captures his white whale.
Yeah.
Just a criminal, the criminal that killed his son. But as far as like the world knows, we have
there's no
we
context
have no
for
right.
that.
We have
Yeah.
no
Context.
context for is like
Oh, yeah,
is
he's not
this
like
guy
a famous
Osama bin
criminal.
Laden
Times
or is he just
Person
a
of the
fucking
Year
bad
is
guy?
the craziest thing.
And mind you,
And the president calls.
yeah, he gets a call from the president.
The president
after
is
defusing
on
the
line
bomb.
1.
He gets a call from the president. I love that he gets Person of the Year from Time maybe 3 or 4 days into
yeah,
this whole
it's not-
story.
it's
he
not
does a
when they do it.
magazine cover shoot. Like,
Right. I feel like he's on a different timeline
Yeah.
than the Nic Cage.
there's like
character.
6 months
Because
of activity.
he would have gone to his wife like right away.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And then the other one's like doing all this detective work and like getting his
Right,
picture
it's-
taken and doing an
It's-
interview for the Times
I've
and
discovered it. I figured it out. This movie was written by a cop.
for a
And
monthly
it's just-
publication.
It's just fantasy.
oh, it is. It's
pure
just fan fiction.
erotic fan fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Like, self of, like, this is what
Absolutely.
they should do for cops, make them Time People of the Year, and the president should call cops every day.
It's like it's
Thanks, man.
absolutely propaganda.
And there should be
like
yes.
100%.
And we're back.
Yeah.
And there should be ticker tape
Right?
parades
The one cop that cares about standards dies right away.
immediately.
Yep.
You need to start reading them their rights. That's what you get for reading the back of
Yeah.
your Miranda card. Like,
Fucking nerd.
oh, you actually know their
The
rights, you
rights.
fucking dork. I hope your heart stops.
Here, I'll help.
Yeah, this is written by a cop who was reprimanded for something he 100% should have
like
been
planting evidence or something.
right. He's like, what if I was like a big time investigator who took down like a crime boss? You would fucking do this to me then, would you? No, you put me on fucking Time magazine and you make me head of the FBI.
God
the
damn it.
president would fucking call me.
It's also written by an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
An 8-year-old.
I put my enemy in jail.
That's how we came up with it. That's why we went so quickly from no plan to we have to remove their faces.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It was meth, an 8-year-old, and a mall cop wrote this movie. We got it. We got to the bottom of it. We did it. We solved it.
Like a kid that doesn't understand how facelifts work.
Anything
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Like,
No,
ooh.
he thinks
Same
that's
thing.
what he took facelifts
Right.
so literally.
The original title, you lift. It was face
Yeah.
slash
Facelift,
lift.
yeah.
You lift it off and put it right. So right, it's just a kid. He heard some words and strung them together. Not bad. Not
Really?
8-year-old who
I love
I
his
mean,
work.
once we put it in
I
context-
love his work.
I do too.
A+. A lot of cursing for an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Maybe it was improvised.
not only
It's a fun week in 3rd grade when you find out all
Not
the
only-
classes.
not only
Yeah, right.
is there
One
an
kid tells
8-year-old who's writing a lot of curse words, but he's writing lines like, "Would you be grateful if I let you suck my tongue?"
Yeah.
Which is absolutely a line in the movie.
I can eat a peach for hours.
Yeah.
It does make more sense. Like an 8-year-old would know that wieners would be different.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Right, it is how. Right, it is
Why
how
don't you
it's
suck my
somebody
tongue?
too young
Oh.
trying to say something dirty.
We also find out, by the way, that that's just his thing. In the beginning, there's a flight attendant in this private jet that's chartered, and he makes her sit on his lap, and he said, "Would you be great?" Nic Cage.
Okay.
He's like, "Would you be grateful if I let you suck my tongue?" And then later in the lair, there is a moment where
That's repulsive.
he asks his I'm just gonna say baby mama because they're not married. He asks her about like, "Do you remember such and such?" And her response is along the lines of, "I remember you making me suck your tongue." I'm like, oh, so he just wants people to suck on his tongue.
Again, written by an 8-year-old who saw French kissing and is like, I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing in there.
Right, or
Every
like
part of this makes
or
more
like
sense.
Charlie Sheen when he was 50 and any kind of sex had become boring.
Yeah.
And now he's just like, why don't you put your tits on my nose? He's just trying to think of things he hasn't done yet.
Touch
I
your
want you to
nipples
grab
with
both my
toes.
ears.
I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. Good.
Oh,
Writing
so
for an 8-year-old.
That's Face Off.
Yeah,
That's
tough.
Boom.
I think we should come back with the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right, we'll be right back with the questions.
Well, I had a couple notes of things that we didn't bring up. The box of stuff that he has, that Castor has,
Oh, yeah.
that they
the
always
fun
hand
box.
him with the guns. And
Oh
the
yeah.
It's like personal effects.
He gets like a little crime kit.
Right. It's
It
3
has
joints.
his 2 guns, 3 joints, chiclets, which I'm pretty sure I think they're crack.
Oh, I thought they were just.
They might just be
chiclets.
chiclets.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think it's just his favorite stuff.
Yeah.
Crime gum.
Crime gum.
And then he
Yes.
has this like gold guns. His guns are gold. I don't know what.
Sure.
Sick.
which
That's
they are
sick as
brought
hell.
back in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then
I
he has
love that fucking movie.
Yeah.
You
It's
guys
great.
watch so many movies.
he has a money clip that's like a dragon mouth.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's sick.
I wanted it as when I saw this as a kid. I wanted that dragon money clip. I was like, I asked my mom. I was like, "What is that thing that he puts his money in?" They're like, "Oh, it's a money clip." And I remember like in Mexico, just like looking for like a cheap version of it. It was like my white whale was the dragon money
Yeah.
clip, but I didn't want to pay too much for
But
it.
thinking about it now as an adult, I'm like, oh, that would suck to have in my pocket.
Right? You'd
so
have to wear nothing but
fucking much.
Carhartts.
Like it would just stab you because it's a spiky fucking dragon and it's big. It's big. It's like having this wrapped around
It's a
money.
statement
My
piece.
Ridge wallet in the wrong pants hurts my leg.
Yes. It's crazy. I had that exact thought last time. Like, that's a cool money clip. I never want one of those.
Well,
I
if
wasn't
if
thinking
really
that far
want-
ahead.
If you really want one,
This was last
Jeff
night.
has 3. Found it.
I found it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Cool.
There's they range in price.
Yeah.
So
Somewhere between, yeah, they probably somewhere between 20 cents.
There's one version
Like
where
$10,000.
I could get it, and then there'd still be enough money left over to use it. And then there's another version where it would just be empty. But, but at least you have a clip for the next time you have money. Sorry, I don't have any cash on me. I got it all. I got all my money is wrapped up in money clips.
Clips. Yeah.
Money clips.
Well,
Like
clip.
in the money clip.
Let's be real. It's
Right.
singular.
The actual clip.
What was the next one?
The next one was there's this part where he's like, relax, he's a turnip, and then he just puts a cigarette out on his arm.
Yeah.
That's
On whose arm?
When lady who is in charge of the units.
When you
Shut up. The lady cop who is in charge of telling John Travolta about what's about to happen, the procedure, brings him down. It's like, you could switch faces. It's like, how would this even work? And she goes, don't worry, he's a turnip. And then there's a close-up insert shot of her putting a cigarette out on his arm, and then just no reaction from him because he's in a coma.
On Nicolas Cage's arm.
he's a he's a vegetable.
vegetable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck does a turnip mean?
It means vegetable.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you.
He's in a coma.
I do love that every time it's sort of revealed to another character that John Travolta is not John Travolta. He does the like horror movie head tilt.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, that was kind of
He does the cute German shepherd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Like, do you want to go outside? Huh?
Curious dog.
Yeah, the curious dog.
Oh,
from
I
Europe.
did have one note that we didn't talk about yet. The prison is called Erewhon.
Oh, that's where they got it from.
Which
Yes.
is, if you don't know,
I don't.
nowhere backwards.
Oh.
Well, the H and the W switched, but yes.
It's not a palindrome.
Anagrammed.
There it is. The other thing that I wrote down is the line where he's like, this face, this hair, this ridiculous chin.
Yeah.
Fucking got him.
John Travolta saying that about himself,
Himself is so good.
which is, you're just like, I don't know. That was great.
Yeah. I looked it up. They had to convince him because he actually was like, "Are you making fun of me?" And he was like, "No, it's you're not saying it. Castor Troy is saying it."
Hey, it's not
And
me.
Castor Troy is they sold him on that line by telling him they're like, Castor Troy is such a narcissist that anything that isn't his he would think is ridiculous. And Travolta was like, that makes sense.
Okay.
But it still does the line in it, and he does have a ridiculous chin, and it's a great line.
It works.
It kind of sucks that he doesn't know why it's funny.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
shows that he's a little slower on the.
Mm.
He's a little more. The fact that they have to be like, Castor Troy is such a narcissist that he would say this, and he's like, that makes sense. Is like you are. Like the fact that we're doing this at all
He's
is
not going to put that together, though.
this conversation don't have anything to do with Sean Archer or Castor Troy. This has to do with John Travolta's narcissism, and they sold it on him the way you would sell a narcissist. They just manipulated his ego.
It's your idea. Yeah.
I also wrote down the line. He was talking to the daughter because she dresses a little goth, like not even full goth. It's like
she doesn't dress goth. She has a couple pieces of jewelry in her face.
it's like the casting department did not understand what the when it was just like, interior, she's dressed goth. And they were like, so this thing from Claire's? Like, I
Right.
don't know. It's like one eyebrow.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was
also-
mall goth, but it was mostly just like mid-90s alternative.
Yeah.
It was like
90s bisexual.
Yep.
she was too young to be
100%.
dressed like Janine Garofalo, but was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's most girls in 96, 95.
When did The Craft come out? Not full.
It would have
Yeah.
very
Right
similar to
around
that.
there,
Very similar to that.
Strong aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I also love that her rebellious music is just James Brown.
Mm-hmm. It's all they could get.
That's all they could get. They
That's
just
what
got.
an 8-year-old
Yeah,
thinks.
it's right.
Well, she's
Well,
like
my
16.
mom says I can't listen to this.
That does seem weird. But it is like, think about 16-year-old girls in 1996. It would be kind of a weirdo move to be, I'm just super into James Brown.
Like deep.
Like
James
that
Brown
is an alternative take in 96
Yeah.
for a high school sophomore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. So
God forbid a girl have a hobby.
after
It just doesn't suck. Like the
Yeah.
idea that they're like, what is she doing? and it's James. Like they should be like, oh, thank God, it's just James Brown. Like
Yeah,
she's weird,
yeah,
but
She's got
not.
She's got immaculate taste.
She's weird to them, not to us. Don't you can't be like she's also weird to us.
No.
Listening to James Brown, that's nonsense.
No.
I'm just gonna go listen to the Beatles and cry. Be like, I just don't understand her. Well, how about you try remembering when you were 16 and did exactly that? Like, what are you, nuts?
So this scene is after he pulls Danny Matheson out of his car window after breaking it.
Masterson.
Yeah, he
Masterson.
breaks the car
Masterson,
window, driver's side.
Breaks the window, rips him out of there, and then he says, "You dress up like Halloween, and ghouls will try to get in your pants."
Right, he was close. He was
We missed
outfit
this.
shaming his daughter.
Yeah.
And then borrows a cig, and then bums a cig off of her.
Where, yeah.
Right, it's weird because in the short week that he's with her, he has a better relationship with her than the real dad did.
Commentary.
But the real dad also was mourning the dead son or whatever, and Castor Troy doesn't care about that.
The only interaction that we have between the real dad and the daughter is she's real pissed off at her mom, and he walks in and goes, "Hey, you're kind of a dick to us, and like also your look changes every single week, so we don't know what is going on. So just give us a minute." And her reaction is, "Well, I'm going to run away screaming."
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right, that's pretty reasonable. But she does
That's pretty
take
reasonable.
to the new dad
Pretty quick.
right.
Pretty quick.
Too quick, some would say.
Which, I mean,
Well,
he
'cause
does
then
give her a butterfly
He gives
knife.
her a butterfly knife. Does she
Fucking-
use it or no?
Yeah,
She
and
uses it at
then
the end.
she
It's
uses
Chekhov's
it on
knife.
him.
Okay.
That's what every teenage girl wants. It's the way to their hearts.
It's also
yeah.
Butterfly
Don't
knife.
air that
Dagger.
because dudes will do it.
we never asked this question, but maybe we should add this question at least for this one because basically I just reverse engineered it because it's from that same scene. But like the most 1997 part of this movie is that she's sneaking cigarettes in her own room.
Yeah.
Like she's
that's
smoking
crazy.
inside.
That's crazy.
And that's something that
No.
right. Remember those like movies and stuff from the 80s when people are just in that like. I'm the oldest one in the room, but I remember going to people's houses that didn't smoke but had ashtrays
Yeah.
Mhm.
because somebody might come over that does. Like nobody blinked twice at it.
Sneaking a cigarette in your own house, it's like the most distinct smell in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to pull
Your
that
parents
off.
could be out of town for a month, and this
you
is
still be
day
like, "You
one.
smoke in here?
Yeah.
You smoked in here."
It's the same as if they were to just
Exactly.
like throw gas all over their room. It's like, what did you do in
It's easier
here?
to hide weed smoke than it is cigarette
Yeah.
smoke, like by
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
By like 20 minutes.
at least in hotels it is. I can
I'll
tell
tell you
you
that for free.
I'll tell you that. As far as you know, it's anecdotal.
Mine's not.
Are you listening, Hampton Inn?
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you straight up that I know for sure, but
I'll tell
I
you
know
straight
for
up.
sure.
I've done both. I'll tell you straight up. I've done both. I know for sure.
Yeah.
Weed's crazy easier.
Way easier. I could definitely hide weed in my car from my mom. I could not do it with cigarettes.
Coincidentally, the only time I've ever set up a smoke alarm in a room is I needed to steam like my suit, and so I just flicked the shower on full blast in the highest setting and just put it in there for a couple minutes just to get the wrinkles out.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I opened the door, the steam came out and set off the fire
Set it
alarm.
off.
It was the one time I
Really?
wasn't smoking in a hotel
The
room.
steam did.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Incredible. That
That's
thing
wild.
is too sensitive.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I don't know if you know this, but that's not actually smoke.
It doesn't know that.
It should. It's called a smoke detector. It's not called a
Steam
detector.
Oh,
Not a very
warm
good
air.
detector.
Atmosphere,
Yeah, it's not a-
atmosphere changing. Something is different about this atmosphere.
Yeah, it's not
I
just an
should
analogous
set off
vapor
my
detector.
alarm.
It is hot air though.
And,
That's the whole point.
Maybe that's why he lit those like 900 candles in
Right,
the house
yeah.
for that romantic scene. There's so many, and they're not like candles in a thing. They're like all the tall
Just-
candles just
Yeah,
everywhere.
killer.
And then
Yep.
they just go upstairs. They don't blow out a single candle. Just dangerous.
And then those candles are
Right, he
never
doesn't
seen
care.
again.
It's not his
His
house.
house.
it's not his
Yeah,
house. He
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
care if it's burning. All right. Do you guys want to do some of these questions?
Let's do it.
I have one actor touchstone I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Does anyone have any other? Is Joan Allen is the wife?
Do we have the same one?
Born Identity.
Oh no, mine was Pleasantville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is Face Off.
Face Off.
Mm-hmm.
Alessandro Nivola is also Face Off. Pollux
Okay.
is from this in my head.
I think that's the only thing I know him from.
I think that might be it. Like everybody else I know from other stuff.
Yeah.
But just those two.
Mm-hmm.
What about favorite parts? You have a favorite
The
part?
whole fucking top to bottom. The whole thing.
Every single part.
Every
I just like the bottom.
Single.
Just that boat chase, dude.
Dude, every single
Really did it
fucking
for
frame
me.
of this movie is incredible.
I never got the Danny Masterson storyline.
It
Oh,
was just a
he
bad
is-
boyfriend.
Yeah, bad
Okay.
It
boyfriend.
was
One-
nothing. It was
It was one scene where he is dropping off the daughter.
Okay.
He
Doesn't take no.
he doesn't take no for an answer.
Did he know he was in this movie? It's just captured footage of him dating teenagers.
It is.
and-
That was the audition tape, and they were like, you know what? That's good enough.
Fuck it, why not?
you know how Johnny Depp said it took a long time to stop acting like Hunter Thompson? It's like that. Like he just got too
He's
deep.
method.
He's
He's
method. He just got too
Really
deep into
method.
it.
He's like, this role's really got some good ideas.
He's in prison, isn't he?
Yeah.
Danny Master. Oh,
Yeah,
very much so.
yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
I've patterned my entire life after Carl, no last name.
Carl in Parent's boyfriend. We should go visit him and tell him that.
Yeah. Should anyone in Face Off get the Oscar? Or who?
I said
should
John
get it?
Think
John Travolta.
I think he fucking crushed it
I
in
think the
this.
son. Listen.
Right? He played dual roles.
2 roles. He got 2 IMDb pages
He knew
up
how
for
to
it.
lay in the grass and listen to Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So fucking good.
And bleed from his head.
And-
Is it Somewhere Over the Rainbow playing?
No, that's the
no,
other
that's
part.
the
That's
that's
during
the lair
shootout.
scene.
I would say that's my favorite part is the lair shootout, but specifically in the lair shootout, the John Woo classic back to back
Yes, that was
talking scene.
kind of. It was those are 6 shots.
Those are dope
those are
shots.
really cool.
And that the tension of them talking, but there's just like something between them.
Oh, like physical barrier.
Yeah,
In,
physical
in the
barrier.
midst of the
Like the
lair
poster.
shootout,
Yeah.
both Travolta and Cage end up in the same room, and their backs are up against like the standing mirror for no real reason, and they're talking to each other, and that's the
Same.
shot.
Yeah,
It's
the
a
lair-
profile
so-
of them.
To extrapolate from that, I'll give the Oscar to set design.
Set design.
Actually, you know what? Yeah,
That
yeah,
was-
yeah.
that's
That
good.
lair is fucking sick.
Right?
So is the
Everything is
prison-
fucking sick. Everything is overdone.
Yeah.
All the sets are you're just what the fuck. Nothing is right. They do a really good job of they don't specifically like this movie is set present day. It's not in the future. This isn't a
Yeah.
2015. We have this new. This is present day with
1996.
weird futuristic type stuff,
Yeah.
and then that kind of bleeds into everything except the house that they live in.
Mm-hmm.
But even the house has all those candles, so maybe that's something in the future. But it's not even good candles, and it's those
They're
candles
stick
the
candles.
churches can buy
Tall.
by
Yeah,
the by the gross, right? Like you can get 12 dozen of them for $40.
So
So
he went
he
to a
bought the
church
cheapest.
supply store. to
Right.
get 'em.
Also, I don't know if you noticed this during that scene. All the candles seem to be situated on one side of the house. Because when we do the reverse shots, there's just nothing on the left of them
Oh.
and either side.
They ran out. They really underestimated how many candles we need to fill a room.
Yeah.
All their money went to fireworks.
For when those TVs blew.
Also thinking about how hot that room would be.
Oh my
full with
God.
Candles. They do those not anymore. Candle concerts.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And only candlelit, and they use only electrical ones now because they just get to fucking
So hot.
searing.
You're basically
temperatures.
watching a concert in fire.
Yeah.
There's fire everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. So I think Nicolas Cage gets the Oscar for having to act normal for like just really rein it, really.
Have to rein it in.
I mean,
He
just,
does have to rein it in
That
quite
would be
a
the
bit.
worst. Like just watching.
Although I will say
You
him, the scene of the first prison riot in the cafeteria where he is trying to figure out how to not be Sean Archer and how to be Castor Troy, and watching him like go from crying to laughing and back over the course of 2 minutes
Acting.
was
Yeah.
it was actually really good acting. And when he does the wide eyes at his brother, I'm like, that is great.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That was mine. Did you have an Oscar from what you've heard?
the magnetic boots, I think. Well, no, I said the sun. I'm still unclear what the Christ the magnetic boots did.
So in the prison, if anything happens, they like have a thing where they can lock all the prisoners.
They
can
turn,
walk you
yeah,
back.
they basically turn on the magnet and,
And just freeze them in place.
everybody's
Yeah,
locked
yeah.
in place. Yeah.
That also would allow for them to reverse the magnetism and just bounce people
Yeah,
off
they
the
can be like a
fucking floor.
giant bunch of moon shoes. Moon boots.
Why? All the stuff they do in this movie, they don't do that.
That's crazy. It's a missed opportunity.
God,
Yeah,
somebody
That would have been so
Fucked up.
fucking funny.
That's the kind of thing where if
and
you
then it's
say,
people who have to walk around on their hands in order to not hit the roof.
right. If you say it to John Woo, he'll be like, "Oh God damn it!"
Just one regret.
Right up, call
Run it
everybody
again.
up.
Run it
We're gonna-
again.
Not all those
We're gonna
birds.
do
he
one
murdered.
more. Face Off needs one more
more
reshoot. You're all signed in already.
Doing.
That's how they escape. Yeah. They walk up the wall.
They just pulled Nic Cage right out the set of Pig. He's like, no, just leave him in costume. We don't give a shit.
I mean, to be fair, they don't even really need to be magnet. If you just put big, heavy boots on everybody,
Yeah.
it's gonna fucking
the same
slow them down
effect.
enough
Yeah.
that they're not really a
Yeah.
threat.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I had stuck in my head.
Everyone has to wear lead ski boots.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I think I had stuck in my head like when there's a space movie, but they're like, we can't afford anti-grav, obviously, because that's insane technology to put in a movie. But they're like, oh, the boots are
Artificial gravity. or
yeah,
whatever.
Right,
artificial
right.
Boots, but also
Yeah, but it wasn't even in space.
yeah,
It
Yeah.
was just there,
Was it an
just
oil
an
rig?
extra thing, and then they fucked up and didn't bounce them off the roof.
yeah.
I'm so mad now.
I'm so mad.
Fucking
As you should be. Fuck you, John Woo. This movie
Yeah.
sucks.
Now I hate it.
go
I
to-
liked it
let's go
until you
down.
pointed that out. I was a big fan. Now I'm on the side of maybe that's why the audience score was lower.
Yeah.
Fucking boots.
What did you say
Those
earlier?
boots.
Fun suck? Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I did read a thing. I didn't double check this one, but the boots are the same as the boots from Mario, the movie.
Oh, okay.
Mario Brothers. All right.
Artifacts.
Yeah. Do we have a double feature for
Yes.
Face Off? What's your double
Sure do.
feature for
Hold on,
Face
let me pull.
Off?
I wrote it down. It is season 11, episode 10 of It's Always Sunny, where Dennis does an impression of CCH Pounder.
Okay.
Incredible work.
Wow.
I was trying to think of my touchdown for CCH Pounder because she just feels like someone like that I've been aware of my entire life.
Uh-huh.
But I was looking through the IMDb and it is exhaustive. Like I can't find
The biggest thing most
the
people know
scene.
her from is The Wire.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like
I know her from The Shield.
Or The Shield. Sorry, The Shield,
But I
not
think
The
there
Wire.
might be. She might have been in something like some '90s
she's
cop
been in-
thing too, like
yeah.
a Law and Order or Homicide.
She's very much a cop character
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah. Her voice is so distinct.
Did you have
but anyway,
a
sorry.
double feature for Face Off?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with sudden death. So there's just two hockey phrases, but sudden death does take place in a,
Slap
during a
shot.
hockey game.
Slapshot.
But it
Goalie
is,
fight.
it is just as
Mighty Ducks.
stupid
Yeah.
an action movie.
I'm trying to think of a movie that has a twist that's like fake deep, but like Inception's too
Donnie Darko.
good. Yeah, like that there's a twist, but it's not that deep. People were like, "Oh my god, it's so crazy." Maybe Donnie Darko. No,
Mine was The Swan season 1. Do you know what show that is?
Nip Tuck.
Nip Tuck.
Nip Tuck
Yeah,
is
there
my
you go.
double feature. The entire
The
series.
whole
of
Nick
the
Tuck.
series.
Yeah.
Of Nip Tuck.
Got
Nice. There we
Got
go.
it.
That's it. Nip tuck.
Swan is such a problematic show.
Oh my God, you can't find it anywhere. I tried
Yeah.
because I was like, I really dug for it, and you can't.
Everyone
they're really trying to scrub that
should
thing
be
out
in
of
jail.
existence.
I can't wait to look this up and judge.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
Delicious. to
Oh,
try.
do you know what it is?
No.
Oh, it was one of those reality shows like Extreme Home Makeover, except they took ugly people.
They took, they
Oh,
they
that
did- they
take
show.
an
Plastic
ugly
surgery.
woman, which is illegal to be,
Right, right.
and they just
Gave her
fuck 'em-
plastic
fuck 'em
surgery.
I don't.
Fuck 'em
I don't
up.
see the problem.
Cool. Moving on.
Moving on.
Hello, the police.
Say it again.
The band.
The band. I know. Jeff's favorite location was the whole movie, but does anyone else have a favorite location for Face Off?
Top to bottom.
Okay, I had the apartment that
The lair was pretty
lair.
sick. The
That
lair
thing
pretty
was-
sick.
I don't
Sick.
remember the lair. I remember the church at the end
Actually, no, that's mine. The
and
church.
the carousel.
The church
And I
is
think
dope
I
as
remember
fuck.
the church being rad as hell.
It's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
a lot of birds.
A lot of birds.
There'd be a lot of cleanup.
No bird funerals though.
Why are there
huh?
so many birds in there?
There's no doors. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All
They
right.
built that cathedral before doors had been invented.
Uh huh.
They'd only thought of roofs.
Right.
Roofs.
Roofs, pews.
Stained glass windows.
Right.
Do we have a recast, or are we just going to
No,
move on?
God, no.
I couldn't think
Absolutely
of anything.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
still on Stallone
Stallone
and
and
Schwarzenegger. I think
Schwarzenegger.
that's incredible.
No, there's, I mean, there's no way
Let's
it's better.
remake it and reverse the polarity, reverse the
Yeah.
magnetism on those
Put it in the
boots.
future.
Fucking,
Right.
I read that they were thinking about
Office.
putting it in the future, and then they decided not to.
they were thinking about putting
They
it
fucking
in space
shouldn't
also,
have.
but
No,
Yeah.
like a
No.
Demolition Man.
No,
No, I think
absolutely
it's great the way
not.
it is because it's really just fantasy.
Yeah. Well, it helps ground this insane premise in some sort of reality that you can connect to a little
Yeah.
bit.
It also
does it?
I'd
well,
still
it
watch
does.
it.
It's
They did a future-y one.
It does, but by not doing it,
Yeah.
if you put it in the future, then you're giving the illusion that you think that some of this might happen
Right.
eventually. You said it now, and as the storyteller, you're basically saying, "Check out this shit I thought of."
Exactly. Yeah. There's no
Right, there's
shred
no, right,
of
there's
possibility.
Oh, yeah.
possibility it might be
Crazy
real,
on
which
crazy.
does what Randall
Yeah.
says
I get it
by
Fully.
not attempting to do that at all.
It
Yeah,
goes from an
no attempt to
8-year-old
realize
writing it to a dumb man writing it.
Yeah.
The 8-year-old.
I mean,
there's
it's-
child
The
labor
8-year-old
laws.
has grown up.
He's busy. He has to go to 3rd grade.
Exactly.
All right. Description for Face Off. That's technically right, but not great.
I have a 3.
Oh, okay.
A troubled father makes his lack of personal boundaries everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
So, to give you a little bit of a peek on this, John Travolta's character to his family, as a sign of love, will run his hand over their face
Or a photo of them.
or a photo
Like
of them.
Did you see a blind person do it in a shitty movie? The thing a lot of people do not do. He's like, I love that.
Might have.
Yeah.
Between the tongue sucking and the face petting. This movie's fucking
It's kind of
weird.
what you see. It's kind of what you see people do when like they're in a like somebody that they love gets killed, but their eyes are open, and then they do
Yes.
that to close their eyes, and it's like he did that once on a case. It was like, that's real sweet. I'm gonna start doing it to
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
family.
It's also so shitty to just be like, shut the fuck up.
That's kind of it.
Shut up.
My second one is a master impersonator speaks perfect Latin.
Who knows Latin?
Apparently,
I don't even know what he's talking about.
when Travolta
watched
walks
this
when he
morning.
walks into the cathedral, it's like hominy domini. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, well, he knows one prayer.
No, it's butchered. That's
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, and then the last one is a wrongfully accused and imprisoned FBI agent front flips his way to freedom.
Yeah,
Nic Cage front flips a fucking lot in this movie.
yeah.
Dive rolls. I have a family goes through a lot to realize it's time to adopt a new son.
What a journey.
That's great. That's great.
All right, so we got a new thing that we're going to do on this one. I don't remember who we're connecting it to, but we're going to
No, we're gonna. That's last. We'll
That's
do that one
last?
last because that's
Okay.
the game. Like,
What about what Tom Petty song would work
right.
for
These
this movie?
questions were introduced by listener and friend of the show, Frank Berman. So these are Frank Berman's questions. What Tom Petty song should be in
Oh,
this
yeah,
movie?
that's what I was gonna. I had one.
That was he gave us those questions. I want to give him the shout out for this.
That is a gift. And a great question.
Right.
like
I also
it
just
very
want to
much.
make sure that some people know that I wasn't the one who came up with this.
Absolutely.
Because
Tom
right when we
Berman.
were talking about the questions, we were always looking at it from the movie point of view.
Right.
But he was looking at it from like knowing what he knows about us and me to throw that in. And this one, I'm more familiar with the catalog, so. The perfect song is Two Gunslingers. There's a Tom Petty song called Two
God damn it, I thought
Gunslingers,
you were
and
gonna
that
save
fits
yours to the
fucking
end.
perfectly. No, but now I want to see what how you guys
There's so
work
many.
yours in.
Hang on.
Do you have one?
I have 4.
You have
four.
4?
Off the top of my head, I can only think of 2. So I'm
Wait.
just
You have 4. Well, are you looking them up, or you
Yeah,
have 4
I'm
that you
looking
can
at
tie
them.
in?
No, I'm
And when you
looking
say
them up.
2, you mean you
I
can
have
think
2
of
titles
2
that I can
Tom
think
Petty
of off the
songs.
top of my head.
All right, this
Hit
is gonna be
yours.
fun.
Hit you first.
Running Down the Dream. And I have no scientific evidence to back that up.
No, I mean Running Down a Dream makes sense because
Yeah, that could work.
the whole movie is about him trying to get that kid back,
Yeah.
Yes.
and he does. He runs that dream down.
Jeff
and
got it.
takes home a kid. This might be the fun way to do it is you just say what title you think of and then I'll figure
Maybe
out.
I'll justify it.
That's a good game.
That'll be fun for me, right?
That's fun.
So this question has now become name a Tom Petty song.
Name a Tom Petty song. The game.
Right. All right.
Do you have one?
I had two. Even the losers.
Yeah, that one works because they both lose
Yeah.
and then
And then I put Tweeter and the Monkey Man.
right, that's his favorite
That's just
Tom Petty song,
okay.
which isn't
It
really.
is fun to name Tom Petty songs.
It's a story.
It's a Traveling Wilbury song sung almost entirely by Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Written
that's
entirely by
goofy.
Bob Dylan, and the other
song.
Wilburys just sing the chorus.
The chorus.
Oh, the
It's essentially just a Bob Dylan song, as if he were. If you listen to the song,
yeah, I know about that.
the
that.
song is almost like someone dared Bob Dylan to write a song that referenced as many Bruce Springsteen songs as possible.
You think songs don't get Mad Lib? That's a great one. That's a
Because
great prompt.
there's so many like State Trooper and Highway 99, and there's so many Springsteen
Oh, wow.
song
Funny.
titles in Tweeter and the Monkey Man. It's
Are they just
great.
roasting Springsteen?
No, not really. It's like
Okay.
it's like he just took the back of the Nebraska album and made a song out of it,
That's incredible.
and that's great. So that's
I
how
would put
this works
Traveling
because
All
it's
right.
Yeah.
it's fucking nonsense, but it
You ready?
somehow hangs together. That's why that one ties into Face Off.
You ready?
Yeah.
This, I'm going to save that one to the last because I think there is one that's perfect. One, I won't back down.
Right?
Fucking full send commitment to the bit.
Yep.
You could play that song for either character.
Absolutely. You wreck me?
Sure.
Just fucking ruin the other one's reputation.
And the boats.
Yep.
At
And the
end.
lair.
And the lair.
And that TV.
And the,
Prison.
and the
You-
plane.
Wreck me.
And Danny Masterson's driver's side window. You wreck me window.
I'm struggling to find a Tom Petty song that doesn't fit.
yeah. Like what's
I mean,
one that doesn't?
And the
Me too.
relationship with his wife.
Breakdown.
Don't do me like that.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
wife said that to when the new Archer shows up.
And
That's not how we've been married for 20 years and we've never done it that way.
I think the perfect Tom Petty song, truly, off Wildflowers. You don't know how it feels.
Yeah.
That is.
To
You
be
don't know how
me.
it feels.
That is.
Right? Those
That
two
is the
guys are
face-off
trying
song.
to know how it feels to be the other guy. And
Yeah.
they don't.
Yep.
They can't. Nailed it. That's a
Nailed
good
it.
segment.
I won. I
That
won.
is a good segment.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you did. All right. Do we have a better title for Face Off?
I think I have two.
Okay.
A-Cab the movie. And
Hell yeah.
Get Your Hand Off My Fucking Face.
Get your face off my fucking face.
Give me my face back.
I don't have one. I
Wait,
can't
what was
think
the
of.
question before Tom Petty song? Sorry.
Wait. Like what's a
Synopses, right?
yeah? That's like technically right, but not great.
Oh yeah.
Like a description, because you know when you're like browsing and you like read a movie that you know really well,
yeah.
and you're like, what?
I
That
don't need
is.
it. Yeah.
So we were writing those. Do you have one?
I'm 8 and I wrote a movie. I think I think that's it. And then
Right.
the plane would crash like this, and the boat would go like this.
Arlo answered a question we haven't started asking, which is what does the cover letter say on the script submission? That we'll add that in
Little
next week.
Johnny Smith, age 8.
Right? I'm 8 and I wrote a movie. Here it is, guys.
This is how I think kissing works.
Suck my tongue.
It's so fun. People say the F word.
And it's written in the script as the F word.
The F word. Yeah.
Do we say
F
it?
word you.
Or do we like say it? That's very fun.
Did you do your titles? I don't even remember
did,
now. We're
yeah.
so far away.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, my titles. I don't feel great about them. Unaccompanied doves, which is
Yeah.
I like that.
uncivil action,
Okay.
serving face,
Surveying face. It's very good.
and the butterfly knife effect.
Nice.
Was my last
Butterfly
one.
knife effect.
I like that.
Yeah.
Blood type science. So much hinges on
ABO?
that.
AB/O.
Oh.
So should we do how this movie ended, or should have ended? Is there like an alternate ending that you guys want to?
Yeah.
Not even a
see?
one.
Yes, one.
Yeah.
But again, from not seeing it, they're leaving on a spinning top ending. I think would be delicious.
Oh, sure.
Of like, wait, who's really in there? who's really,
Yeah.
or John Travolta peels off his face to reveal Nic Cage's face underneath.
Oh, it's like a Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
I kept them both.
Exactly.
Now you don't know for sure.
I got all the faces.
He unfolds Nic Cage's face from inside his lapel pocket. Look, I can put this on. I could be him again.
I'm Nic Cage. I am Nic Cage. What? He abandons his character name. Hello, I'm Nic Cage.
I'm Nic Cage. I had the same one pretty much, where it was like I wanted to see, like I wanted like a wink where they like adopt the kid, and then he I don't know,
He like pulls Pollock's shoe out of his
like
jacket.
says some reference or does something that's clearly him.
He ties the kid's shoe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ben's trying to
ties
tie the kid's shoe.
to kind of like leave
And
it.
they're like, oh, is that? That's what the
ambivalent.
other guy did.
And then he looks right at the camera and winks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winks.
right, one of those like
Just-
like the end of that movie where Denzel is chasing a demon, Fallen.
Yeah.
Where you think he solved it, and then there's like one extra shot where you're like, maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
right,
Hello,
like just
I'm
enough
John
to leave it open for a sequel, but
To
never
make it
actually
be like
do it.
question, like, wait, did they kill the wrong person?
Right.
Did he double face off?
Triple down, double stamp. triple
And then
stamp,
do we want to
face
do the Kevin?
Yeah, we're
Bacon
gonna do
game?
this. This is another thing Frank suggested, and I think it's fun. Everybody remembers the Kevin Bacon 6 Degrees game, but we're not doing Kevin Bacon. We're gonna connect this movie to last week's movie. So since this month is all Nic Cage, we're leaving Nic Cage out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna connect John Travolta to John Cusack from Con Air
Mm-hmm.
as fast as possible. And the only rule is you can't start with Face Off,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't and whoever like who goes first? Who wants to go first?
I would love to if I can.
Yeah.
Right, so
'Cause I'm not gonna win.
Well, I connected Sean Connery to
right,
to
because I
John
said that
Travolta.
I said that a lot because I forgot what last week's episode was when,
Right.
when I was explaining this idea
So
to Bjorn.
can I? And then I will get Can I connect those and then you guys?
Yeah, you
I
want
don't.
you
wanna
do
do
John
Sean
Travolta
Connery?
to Sean Connery.
Yeah, go
because
for it.
my connection was you've got let's see, it was Sean Connery is in Entrapment with Ving Rhames, and Ving Rhames is in Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
All
John
right.
Travolta.
Yeah.
All
You
right,
could
so
do
that's
Mission Impossible.
so that doesn't work. So now I just need somebody else to do it so we can explain the rule because it was the wrong guy.
Okay. I've
So-
got mine.
You go first.
John Cusack was in 1408 with Samuel L. Jackson, who was in Pulp Fiction with John Travolta.
It's
all right,
too
there you go.
easy.
Right. I
Hit it.
see now I'm confused because you went to it's this week to last week and you went last week to this week.
I'll go the other way
So if you go the other way, it's
Oh.
easier to explain the rule.
Oh yeah.
John Travolta was in Pulp
Gotcha.
Fiction
with Samuel
who
L.
was
Jackson.
in whatever.
Yeah.
The rule then is whoever goes next can't use Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So now you go John Travolta to John Cusack. Do you
Oh,
want
I
to
don't
do
know
it?
anybody in any
All
movie.
right, so
I've invented a new game where you have to go off the movie that I say. So John Travolta was in Michael. Who else was in Michael? John Travolta was in
God? I don't
Multiplicity.
know.
Phenomenon.
Who else was in Multiplicity?
I mean I can tell you that everybody in Multiplicity wasn't John Travolta.
There's
John Travolta's not in that movie.
oh, who is?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Oh, that's a great movie. That's a really good movie.
Right, there was like 6 Michael Keatons in that movie. You still couldn't figure it out. Right, so that's the only rule. So my connection would be, it's a tie. I can tie with Randall. John Travolta was in Get Shorty with Gene Hackman, who was in Runaway Jury with John Cusack.
Oh, okay.
So then next week we'll connect
Okay, I got it now.
John
second lead
Travolta was
from
in Grease with Olivia Newton-John.
Uh-huh.
That was in
Xanadu.
Xanadu.
With
John Travolta. Damn it.
Why did you pick
I don't know.
Olivia Newton-John?
I'm literally just trying to think of a movie that I know that they're in. I don't have an end goal in mind at all. I'm not mapping.
So you just want to meander to the destination.
I like
I
it.
think it's a way more fun game.
Oh yeah, this
Try to
this
get
game
there.
is going to be more fun in the future. We'll do it again next week. But I like this game. We
Yeah, me
tied.
too.
There we go. I forgot Ving Rhames is in entrapment. That's pretty cool. So that's it with that game. Is that it? Is that it with the questions?
Well, it's just, did we watch this so you don't have to?
No.
No, of course not. You guys
Fucking watch
everybody-
this immediately.
Yeah. I'm gonna go eat salad.
Yeah,
and
we
watch
watched this
Yeah.
to remind you that this movie exists. I'm assuming you've seen it.
It's a good pitch.
Everybody I'm listening to, everybody that's listening to us, it's Face Off. Come on, you've seen this motherfucker.
Does it hold up?
Fuck yeah, it
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth the rewatch. That's the.
does. Yeah, it absolutely holds up. All right, so let's hit the Raz. We'll be right back with the Raz. All right, we're here with the Raz talking Face Off. My first question for you on this movie is, did you see it in the theater?
Maybe. I may have seen this in the theater.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Some of these movies I've seen so many times and I don't have, I may have saw this in the theater. I don't have a recollection. There's very few movies I remember seeing specifically in the theater. This is not one of them.
That's why. I mean, you're right. This is one of those movies. Like, I can't remember. It's hard to think about that there was a large percentage, like a third of my life, this movie didn't exist, and that
Right.
baffles me.
Absolutely.
This feels like it's been around my whole life. It's one of the most amazingly ridiculous movies ever made.
Yeah.
And as we talked earlier on the episode, it is one of the first times that like a big dumb action movie got the credit it deserved from critics. Like, for the first time, critics figured out, this is what they meant to do.
100%. It's a flawless movie.
Yeah, yeah.
When you know the parameters, it's a flawless movie.
Right. The only flaws in the movie are in the premise, but once you commit to the premise, the movie is flawed. They flawlessly execute this premise that involves somebody getting taller and heavier.
I mean, here's the deal. That's semantics.
Right.
I mean, we don't like the height thing is such an easy fix when you wear lifts or boots. So it's like,
Oh yeah, I didn't even mean that. I
Sure.
meant the right. We did talk about it earlier, but the fact that when they're switching the faces and you see John Travolta when he's getting Nic Cage's face on, you watch him cut his hair. Like there's a part where scissors and they cut his hair into Nic Cage's haircut. And then when Nic Cage puts Travolta's face on, he just has Travolta's hair.
yeah, this is
So maybe they saved it.
and
Maybe they saved the hair and they
Maybe.
glued it all on with they glued his face and the hair.
Maybe they did, or maybe they surgically. Yeah, we don't know.
I believe it.
It's funny.
So, of all the movies
It's a
where people
fun
switch
movie.
faces, is this the best?
This is up there, dude. This is up there with Trading Places. This is up there with Freaky Friday. It's such a fun. It's a bonkers movie, dude. It's a brilliant movie. Hey, because it's taking the Mission Impossible concept of the mask and really making it really hammering home.
Oh yeah, you're right. They
Like,
did
let's
lift
sneak
that.
in. Let's infiltrate. Let's go undercover, and we'll infiltrate this. Let's find out where Castor Troy's brother is.
Yeah, Pollux Troy.
Alex Troy. That's how I learned about constellations. They're named after constellations.
Yes, me too. Like when I looked up, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
This is like when I first figured out how to use the internet. This is what I did it for years.
100%.
Was just
Movie trivia.
what's up with Face Off? Just Google that
100%.
shit.
Give me some movie trivia.
All right, who are your? If it wasn't these two dudes, who are your like top 3 pairings for this movie?
A pairing for this movie,
Like,
top 3
yeah.
pairing for
If you
this
want to do a
movie.
current one or an
If I want to remake this movie
yeah,
today, I gotta say the Gaz,
sure, and
the Gaz, and let me say Channing Tatum.
okay, I'll take it. They're just enough difference physically to have that part. And
Yep.
they both could be fun and wild.
I feel like the Gosling can play I think the Gos could play the Nic Cage part.
Oh yeah.
And okay, here we go. Nic Cage and Patrick Dempsey. I don't know. I mean, Ryan Gosling and
What if?
oh, here we go. What Ryan Gosling and that dude from Drop, the dude from 1923.
Oh,
Brandon
that guy,
is
that
split
British
on
guy. What is his name? It doesn't matter. I'll look it up, and I'll look it up and let the listeners know when we come back.
Yeah,
But I know you're talking about. Oh, George McKay, that's his name.
he's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's
That's
a tough.
the star
it is
of
tough
that movie,
'cause-
1920. Oh, 1923 is a TV show. I was thinking of 1917.
Oh yeah, 1917.
That's a movie.
No, 1923 is a TV show. It's tough because what is a good casting? Who's hot right now that this could be good for? That's in their mid 30s that could have a kid and also be a Looney Tune. So it's late 30s.
It's tough because the thing about both of these guys is they both have that they can get real big and small in the same sentence,
right,
and be like kind of like that kind of insanity, and there just isn't
Right.
anybody that does that now.
right.
So I guess the best thing would just be to Nic Cage and Travolta are still alive. Just do old face off.
I mean, they were a perfect casting because also they do play they're a cop. They're playing that role. Like Nic Cage, they know to turn it up. They know to play that. It's an easy, not an easy fix, but it is one of those movies where it's like a perfect movie. Like I don't know, like Bruce Willis as John McClane. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like it almost doesn't work. It almost becomes a completely different movie.
Yeah, it does. It loses the magic without those two
Right.
guys. Same as Bruce Willis. Like any of the people listed, like Die Hard would have been a hit, but it wouldn't be. It would have like the same cultural cachet as Lethal Weapon
Right.
if it was Mel Gibson instead. Like
Right.
nobody would because Lethal Weapon is one of those movies you could argue people could be arguing is or is it not a Christmas movie, but nobody brings
Right.
it up at all because nobody gives a shit.
Right.
The only reason people
Right,
like Die
'cause
Hard
it's-
is because of Bruce Willis.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good point.
I mean, Lethal Weapon's great, but Lethal Weapon's also less of a Christmas movie than Die Hard. Die Hard's got all the Christmas movies. Lethal Weapon is the answer to everybody's debate on why Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie.
right.
That's
Lethal Weapon
Die
is
Hard.
Lethal Weapon is the perfect example of that kind of it isn't for sure.
Right.
It just
Right.
has it in it. It crosses over
right.
the date.
Right. Like Batman Returns.
Yeah. Although Batman Returns has more imagery.
The tree lighting. Yeah. This is true.
But it also
The
has that
plot points.
fantasy snow. Like it kind of
Yeah.
looks like it's in a snow globe.
This
Whereas
is true.
Lethal Weapon is just regular LA, and then
Right.
all of a sudden there's a Christmas tree in the house.
That's Christmas tree.
Right? I mean,
This
it
is
opens
true.
on the Christmas tree lot, but that could be anytime after Thanksgiving.
Right. Very true.
It could be Pearl Harbor Day.
It could be. It could be New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, and Face Off Face Off is perfect. It's perfect.
Perfect.
It's of the time, especially for that kind of sci-fi cops and robbers. Like Demolition Man. It's of the time of a little bit sci-fi, a little bit grounded, a little.
Right. I do love the fact that it's not in the future.
Right.
Like it's just
This new hidden government technology.
yeah, just this weird shit. They don't
Look,
have to. They're
sign
not
me
like
up.
it's 2015 and
I'm all for any present day movie that has some undisclosed secret technology that the government has.
yeah. Me too. I also really like fake drugs.
100%. Give me a fake drug name all the time.
They're way better than when people use real drugs but don't know how they work.
100%.
uh,
Give me a fake drug. I'll believe any fake drug you tell me.
right. Me too. Because it's pretend. So you just tell me what it's called
Yeah.
and tell me what it does, and I'm on board.
Yeah.
I buy it. I believe you.
100%. Absolutely. It's like the fake Googles that people have in movies because they can't use Google. You
Right.
tell me it's Bumbleplan and I believe you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know
So
what it does.
Face Off is one like I can make this part broad, and I think it's way up there. Like, if I just asked you for a 90s action movie, how many do you get to before you say
It's up
Face
there.
Off?
Easy. I mean, it's up there.
Top. Maybe it might be at the lowest third for me.
Yeah, I mean, 90s is a broad spectrum, right?
Right. But that's how good I think Face Off is.
Right. It's definitely one of the more recurring ones that you remember, right?
Yeah.
It's in the top 10. Now depending on how fresh it is when you're rattling off the list, if someone says give me 5, you're like, okay,
Right. And
depends, right?
And how quick your brain goes, is The Fugitive an action movie?
100%. Right. Absolutely.
Right, because I might not like The Fugitive is better, but I wouldn't if you said
Because
give me
With
a
the
big
Vengeance
dumb...
came out. With the Vengeance is up there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That one is super good. Even with kind of a weak ending. We'll talk about it when we do that movie, but there's an alternate ending. I'll send you a link to it so you can see it.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, it's fucking sick. We'll talk about that after this. All right, so that's Face Off. What's your sign off for Face Off?
Be kind to yourselves and each other, and go look at the stars, and go look at Castor and Pollux Troy.
Right, just be as nice as you can. You never know when you're going to wake up with someone else's face.
You never know.
And you're going to hope that the person whose face you have was also nice. So, right? The Raz makes a point. You never know when you have to switch faces, so everyone should be nice so you don't get blamed for other people's shit when you're wearing their dumb face.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's Face Off. Thanks, Raz. We'll talk to you next week about Gone in 60 Seconds. All right. So now we're just wrapping this up. Next week is Gone in 60 Seconds. Anybody got any plugs? Arlo, you got plugs?
No. June, Pride stuff. I don't know. There's shows. Come and see stand up in Portland.
All right, cool.
Follow me on Instagram.
Google
CW.
Arlo Portland comedian. You'll get it.
Perfect.
Just my other podcast, Love, Hate, Laugh show.
Love, Hate, Laugh. I did it yesterday, so I'm going to be on that episode will probably be out by the time this one comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Or it'll be out right around the same time.
Around the
Anyway,
same
you can
time.
catch double shot of me and Bjorn podcasting next week or this week right now.
Yeah.
I get confused with when it drops and when we are alive.
Yeah.
It gets a little.
It's hard, dude.
It's a little. Is it Travolta's Cage? Cage is Travolta. It's a little, we're doing that a little bit.
Should I
You got any
put-
plugs, Randall?
Podcast
Yeah, listen to What's More Metal, Ghost and Hose, unlock this anytime now, and please check out Not That Late Show.
All right, so we have. My plugs are the same. August 2nd, Norwood, Ohio, Cincinnati area, that festival. If you live around there, it's easy to find out. And then August 1st, the Leisure Club in Columbus, Ohio. Those are my plugs. Is that it?
I think
That's it. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Just trying to make sure that I don't have like dry mouth or something.
More mouth sounds on the mic. Cheers.
Is that ice in your beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, classy.
I've looked for salt. fucking Hawaiian beer.
Yeah, like a little
Fucking
tahine
delicious.
rim.
Yeah. Fuck yes. I have specific beer tahine at home. And I have like cooking tahine. It's fucking delicious.
Don't touch that. That's my beer tahine.
Exactly. It's the best beer.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Well, I want you to cut that part out and just drop it after the whole.
Okay.
Put it into the very end of the pod.
Sure. After the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As it fades out, just drop in the. I have beer tahine at home. Let anybody who lets it play to the end wonder what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Post credits. Mystery. Good.